seed, and as those teams play each other in best of threes and then a final best of 5 for the finals, we will crown our champion. Now, we do have a $10,000 prize pool to play for today, with $6,000 of that going to first place, $3,000 of that going to second place, and of course $500 apiece going to third and fourth place. So everybody will win at least something, but of course that'll be split between all 3 creators. So you want to go for that lion's share at the very top.
Incredibly excited to see who perseveres on top, and we do have some studs in the T3 arena showing up to participate today. 4 different teams, as you mentioned, and I'd love to hop into those right now. First, we have Aletta's Avengers. It's formed by Wasim, Lex, and the Rodeo.
Rodeo actually organized
we have
the first ever
Rangers,
tournament
who's comprised of Corey, Insanity,
access.
and Tag.
Speaking of
Next,
that,
we have
can we let on something about
representing
tournaments?
Hunter, we've got This Is Chris,
Maybe
the
later.
Saurus
Yeah.
PG,
Let's have a look
and
at
the
what
one
they
and
have to
only
say.
Orange Juice. And last but certainly not least, it's Glorious Gladiators, represented by Bobby Plays,
I'm so
Kairos
excited.
Time,
I was actually
and
so
T3
excited
God.
when I
Sounds
knew
pretty fearsome,
Kairos
don't you
was
think, Coach?
joining.
No, couldn't agree more. It was
I
a
really
lot of
love
fun
this YouTube
kind of
channel.
listening into some of their comms. We'll see what they're able to do today.
All right, we
But
changed
let's
up
look
the,
at schedule. You can see it again on your screen
I still
right
don't have
now.
a
And to
microphone, baby.
describe this in
I don't
more
know if they
detail,
disconnected
a
on the other
best of
side
3
too,
is
or
very
what?
simple. You play potentially a total of 3 rounds.
We changed up the title to
First
fix.
first to 2 wins will actually secure your match win and put you into the next round. So you can see where everybody lines up. We're going to start with the Aletta's Avengers against Ruby's Rangers. Then we're going to have Hunter's Heroes versus Glorious Gladiators, and so on and so forth. Each team will play each other one time and give a total of a 3-game record. We can explain that more down the
3
line,
games.
but-
So it's
but
a best
I
of 3
really like
game.
this format because
Oh.
look at the different game
Deathmatch,
modes.
here we go.
Maybe
How
we should
we
make a
play.
webcam.
Like Team
Using the
Deathmatch
webcam
to start,
mic,
which
not
is
the actual
pretty
mic
simple.
mic.
You've probably seen this
'Cause
before on Penthouse
seen
Gallery.
some
odd
Team
reason I don't
Deathmatch
have
is
that as
just
a
3v3 first
Yeah.
20 eliminations.
You
That's
gotta
really
start with
great.
that TDM, though. I mean, that makes
Absolutely.
sense. Like,
Team
come
Deathmatch,
on,
pretty
it's a
straightforward.
classic.
Pew, pew,
He
get
has
more
to be
kills
on
than
there
the other
somewhere.
guys, but we also have Payload Race to look forward to. We're going to see that on the
I love
Warehouse
Payload Race, and I love
Soda
Payload
1
Escort.
map, and
Actually,
that's going to be incredible. as
Payload
each
is actually
team
my
tries to
favorite
get their
mode.
forklift
And
jetpack
Gordo's
featuring
list.
all the way from one side
Game
of the
mode.
map to
I'm
the
just
other.
awful
It's going to
at
be
Payload.
incredibly
I've
exciting.
had any
And then
Payload
in the
title,
third
so
and final
I
game,
just-
if we do in fact go to the tiebreaker,
I think Payload is
we're looking at
fantastic.
Crystal
I mean,
Assault, where each
it
team
does
has a
add,
crystal
like, a lot
near
of
their spawn, and the
different
opposing team will be
gameplay
trying to
elements,
take it from
because it
100%
gives you
health
something else to
down to
think
0
about.
over the course of the game. And
what's
we'll be
going on,
looking to
y'all?
play that one on Energy Canyon, which is one of my personal favorite maps.
Crystal
I know we
Assault
were
can
talking
actually
a little bit
be
before the
pretty
broadcast today
competitive
about your
if
favorite
you
game
have
modes,
like
favorite
really
maps,
good
and I know
players
you
on
love
both
Crystal
teams.
Assault. We'll actually have a
But
chance
a lot
to
of
see
times
more
when
of that
you
later in the
you
broadcast.
play
in case a lot of
casually,
these teams win
Yeah.
the
it's
first
kind
2
of like
maps,
more
but
like a
regardless,
general
I
mode.
believe our games are getting
But
set
when you
up.
have,
Game number
like,
1 is about to
really
be
good
underway. And
players
as a
on both
reminder,
teams,
Aletta's Avengers
I often
versus
get like
Ruby's
99,
Rangers is who's
100
about to
points
play. Before we
for
get there,
100
if
points.
you didn't know, in Tap Tap
Hey,
right
what's going on,
now, you
Pancho?
can actually
How you doing,
vote
bro?
to determine who you think is going
Yeah,
to win.
you can
You
go
type
to
a
the
comment
Tap
down
Tap
below on their
group
post,
to
and if
join
you
us.
guess the right team,
The
you can actually
prediction
receive
events.
some in-game
Yeah, we have 3.
rewards. So I know in all of our broadcasts we have a link for that. It's prediction number 1. So go check that out. Exclamation point prediction will trigger that command, and you'll be able to see that link. All right, now. As you go and do that, you predict your winners. Lance and I are going to be hopping into the first map of the day. And again, a potential of 3 maps
think
for this
we'll
matchup. But
we'll
Lance, the
win
big
this
question that
round.
I have is who's going to come out swinging first?
It's a great question. If I had to place my wager, I'm going Aletta's Avengers in this one because why their name starts with A, I'm preferring the alphabetical order. That's clearly scientific, my friend.
Wasim
We've got
is
Wasim,
Aletta.
Rodeo, and Lex coming
It's
out of
a really
spawn. They're
difficult
going up against
hero, I
Tag,
think.
Corey, and Insanity. This is a great map. It's got good sight lines on the top level, but beware, there is a
They look
bottom
really
level to
intense.
navigate as well.
Like all of
Check
them.
out
Look at their
here
face.
as we
And why
get started
Rodeo
here,
called
going up
Lex?
against Rodeo, trying to get a
Why?
What?
Why is there a guy?
20, I
Why is
believe,
there
to
a
be
guy
clear,
behind
that you can
Rodeo?
pick from, and
I don't know.
all of our viewers have the opportunity to play any of those heroes, including the brand new chemist that was just added to, I think, what, 48 hours ago or so? So I'll be curious to see what some of these team comps will be.
What do you mean?
But again, in team deathmatch, the only kind of objective here is, well, find enemies and secure some eliminations, which it looks like Aletta on your screen right now trying to secure one. And great movement, great shots, and Fantastic execution, finding one, looking for the second. It's Corey on the other side, but no, goes down from a distance.
Yeah, Scotty
You know what I
is
love is
the
Aleta's Avengers
really
coming
good
out strong here, and
counter
Aleta
for
herself
Aleta.
on the map, you'll see her dart around, has
The
the
spider
ability
web.
to phase in and out of
I
battle.
do feel like
kind of
we're going
teleporting, if
like
you
with
will. Looking for a slippery one to get a hold of for sure, but you'll see the teams regroup and come out from spawn. We currently have 2-2. Remember, in team deathmatch, it's the first to 20 kills. We'll take them out.
Wait, they have
we're gonna start
two
talking about
Scotty
team comp
in a
soon,
team?
but I think team chemistry and a little bit of strategy is going to really dictate on who is going to come out on top. And we've got a couple
we
big
have
hitters
3
competing
Scotty.
today. We have the Rodeo, who is one of the community creators that actually earned his way into this event by winning a free-for-all tournament, I believe, that the T3 Arena and TapTap communities put on. So I'm sure he'll be doing a bit of IGLing, that in-game leader position, to help lead the team to victory. And then we're going to see a number of different heroes, but Scotty is one that, for if you're trying it out for the first time, you'll certainly get a chance to play her, and she's a great hero to use, especially because she has that web shooter that can stun enemies, then you can go for headshots.
Is the opening hero of the game, and you can see how she throws her
He's really good. I think
he's
really good.
But also not one to be taken lightly. She packs a punch and has great crowd control on top of that. And I also do want to point out that when Sanity
it's really difficult.
Yeah. Like her
movement
is like not something you can
one of the strongest heroes
get
in
a
the
hold
game.
of.
She brings a bow and arrow, and just like that, you see Win land a shot that does
And Wasen has
significant damage.
already killed 4 people.
It's really cool to bring in
right
all
now.
of these mobile creators from all over the scene, and they've played a number of titles on their own broadcasts and live streams and VOD-based content, and some may be in a better position to do well today than others, but maybe we'll be surprised. Some of our FPS players certainly are going to feel fairly at home with this very clean arena shooter, and some maybe not so much. So it's cool to see Winsanity really playing one of the highest skill level heroes in the game. It is a very difficult hero to use, but if you can use them correctly, you can pack a punch. And well, there's exactly what we're talking about. Little headshot around the corner to take the lead by 1, and no, make it 2. Now, something I want to mention here, Lance, is that yes, we are playing to 20 eliminations here in team deathmatch. There's also a timer, and you can see we only have 90
This
seconds
is like
left.
actually one of the few maps where I wouldn't go with
cognizant of that round timer more than
It's
anything.
a very
because I can't
long
imagine they're
range
gonna make it all the way to
version.
20 limbs.
Yeah, because this map is actually quite packed. It's got a lot of side rooms, a lot of a lot of corners, whatever. I don't know. I feel like she cannot play to her full potential here.
The trade, Corey coming back, getting the kill, and that is huge. It keeps the margin at 2.
Well, we've got couple different players trying to play next to each other. Corey looking a bit low across the way, but with Sanity right around the corner as well, they want to make sure that they are able to have a little bit of team chemistry here to make sure they can stay alive. I think playing next to each other as teammates is super helpful. You can play the trades, you can play the corners together. As one plays the injury man, the other comes around and plays cleanup. The question becomes,
so great.
It's 9 to 8.
So good. His ladder is so good.
Yeah.
A ladder is really hard to master.
That are going out from
Lex is able to make some.
Corey is also really good.
But no, on your screen, Scotty ripping a new
Scotty really just
opposing
nails
team,
it
securing
when it comes to
potentially a round 1 victory. A very impressive shot.
Hualing is really difficult to counter
Aleta,
yeah.
Playing back up with Hualing and
even with her ability.
This is definitely not a good situation for Hualing.
No, but he's playing really good. Like, he's still alive.
No.
Your screen will be the victors.
Ooh.
That was pretty incredible, Goj. I don't know if you got me, but man, what an incredible little trade there. We had Wasim playing Aleta, and Aleta is a lot to handle. She doesn't do a lot of damage all at the same time, but is persistent. Has a lot of great movement there. Saw some great plays from Wasim, from Winsanity. We also saw Corey busting out some shots there. Really like it. I'd say the first couple of map play there, I would say that Hualing really stood out to me, as well as Scotty, as really strong heroes.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think
It's a mobile game.
Noting too
you do it
that
on
was
mobile,
the first round
camper.
of the first match
Wifey and I
of
already
the
playing
entire
it.
event. You
We've
could
been
tell
playing
there
it for a
was-
little
I don't
while
know
now.
if
We
it
got the
was
RPs
nerves or
match.
more so just trying to play conservative, right? Most of the teams were backing up. They were trying to play
They
their
blocked
trades.
the
They were
face
trying to
cams.
play
Actually,
together.
you know what?
And
Let
then
me
when
go
they
on their
were
stream.
able to get a pick, it was like, hey, all systems go. Let's run at our opponents. Let's find the enemies and secure a full team wipe, which then was able to make them, go up ahead. I mean, I think that was the big key to success there was when to push aggressively and then when to play conservatively.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And it's one of the keys I think we'll see as this event goes on. Having those heroes that can actually pose a bit of a distraction, the Alettas, the Johnny Jets, even Shell to an extent. We take a look here at Hua Ling. We'll bring up her ability. She's got the compound bow that does
That's
an
a pretty
absolute ton of
good
damage.
graph.
Yeah.
35
Than what we
but man,
did.
if you land a headshot, that is one-shot
That's actually
ability
better.
in almost
A
all
better
of the
graph
heroes
than what
in
we
the
did.
game. She also has the snare bomb, which makes a great combo. Can throw a bomb that actually slows down her opponent so she can line up that headshot. She's also got her ultimate ability where she'll hover in the sky and drop down the blast arrows. 3 huge shots that's liable to take out.
And I actually
any
like the
singular
original
hero, but
skin
also is
of
great for
Hua
dealing
Ling
with
better.
groups.
Well, I'll be curious to see what some of our other teams are going to be building into their team comps. I did get a chance to kind of listen in on some of the Discord communications that Glorious Gladiators were having, kind of led by T3 God, the other community member that is a part of this event. And
T3 God is really good.
swears
He's
by
been
Hua Ling,
active for
and
a long time,
his
like
favorite
since.
hero to play, but
I'm not sure
the
if
cool thing about
it's the
this
first
tap,
day,
tap,
but I
motion we're seeing right now,
remember
that means
seeing
we've got some
T3 God
replays for you, all right? So
on our Discord
first and
channel
foremost, I
for
want
so
you to go
long.
check out T3 on tap
Do
right now.
you
All you gotta
remember
do
how
is go
many
down to the link.
trophies
Go
does
down
he
to the
have
link in the
now?
description and the pinned
about
messages. But let's take a
20,000,
look at some of the
Oh my
replays,
God.
some of our favorite
Right about
moments from this
20,000.
first game.
And
Absolutely.
what's
While we're
his
doing
name?
work here, you can see her
What's
getting
his favorite
lined
hero?
up, dropping the hammer
we can check.
on what's even
Yeah.
in spawn. But
We can
I
check.
will say, in game number 1, these guys are going to quickly learn that hanging out in the
Attack or
opponent's spawn
damage.
probably
I think it's
I feel like
Okay,
we
so
kinda
we're
need-
getting a lot of questions about how to
kinda
redeem
need
the
the
code.
chat up, right?
So if you already got the code
'Cause they're
on the
calling out codes I
last
didn't even
match,
know
you can go
existed.
inside your game, then you go on your options account, and then there should be a redeem code button.
There's one right here, T3 gone.
T3 God has 18,400
Pretty
trophies right now,
pretty high.
and
What a liar.
yeah, Rodeo's got 16,000, like around 17,000.
What was the code? I missed it. Where was the code? That's true. They're
Did
not
you know
even
that you can actually follow? So, so we just revamped the leaderboards, and in the leaderboards session in the game, you can actually follow your favorite player.
Follow me now.
You're not my favorite player
Why?
at all.
What happened to Garbage?
You're not at
Who's
all.
your favorite player?
What's going on
My
here?
favorite. So there, I was playing with a player from Japan called Shohei. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Shohei Bo. But I was playing with him
in the last one. This time
in a
around,
few
we've
matches.
got a new hero
and-
on the screen. We've
oh,
got some
boy.
Jabalis.
His
Talk
team
to me
was
a little
really
bit about
great.
Jabalis.
Oh,
my favorite map.
Jabali.
My favorite map.
Useful
Payload.
in payload race.
Payload race. Come on,
Jabali
come
is
on.
the classic tank. He's the biggest, beefiest character in
I called it
T3.
out.
The
Yeah.
big
And
boy,
cool
the
thing
big
about
boy
Jabali is
himself.
You can see Lex there. He's got the ability to
Happy
flatter
boy.
shield. But not only does he do
I don't know if that was
decent
me that
damage
said
in
that,
close
but that
range,
kinda
he has a
sparked it.
consistent
Jabali is another
outflow
interesting
of,
one.
damage.
I remember
But
people
he is the guy that's
were
going to
all
absorb
predicting that
punishment.
Jabali
At max level
was
can
going to be
absorb
like a main
21,000 damage in
key
that
part of the
inner
meta, but I don't know. We've kind of been seeing him drop
all
off.
kinds of
I feel like
punishment
as far as tanks go, people have actually going a lot more with Ruby.
Series, and so when we're talking about their
I love
hero
Jabali,
changes,
though.
these are
Come
still
on.
the same creators. You recognize their faces down below, and so far so good for both teams. Fairly
Fixing it
still
all right
neck
now.
in neck. These forklifts move fairly
It
quickly. so
really
you want to
depends
be
on the
kind of
team combo.
cognizant of
Sometimes
where
I
the
use
opponent's
Jabali,
forklift
sometimes
is,
I
'cause
use
like
Ruby.
Lance mentioned before, you can actually
Ruby-
push that
Ruby has
back,
more
and you can see
flexibility
some of
than
the teams
Jabali
right
in a
now
sense.
trying to do that sword tag, and Corey in particular leading the charge, playing the aggressive stance.
Ooh, look at that.
You see on the top of the screen, you've got the indicators for progress so far, and it looks like we've got the blue team making steady progress, but the red team getting halfway there. Called out though, looks like at 51%, but they're going to keep things moving.
As a reminder, too, Ruby's Rangers is the team that won last
Oh,
map.
no.
That's Insanity, that's Corey, that's Surtag, and they're trying to go back-to-back here on the wins, because with a best of 3, you only have to win twice. So
that
they have
alerts,
to win
bro.
here in payload
I don't
race
think
that will move
Jabali
them
should
forward with one
keep
matchup win under
holding
their belt.
her
We'll
show
head
all
into
the
new
time.
creators matchups in a moment, but
Yeah.
I gotta say, Lance,
It's really
you and I have had a
dangerous
chance
when
to play quite a
the
bit of
damage.
T3. Aletta, a very difficult
Their
hero
tag
to
is
use,
playing
but quite deadly
big
if
robot
used
dude.
Ooh.
effectively. And Wasim seemingly is doing a great job of
Lax
playing her, able
Jabali's
to take
really
out the
good
tank
too.
with Jabali, but also playing the distraction role. You can almost play sort of an off-tank role with her. If you're able to
Iris
distract the
healing
other team.
herself all the time.
I think there's several characters that do
She's
a
not
great
pulling
job.
Yeah,
her
that-
teammates.
That's an interesting choice with Iris right there. Iris just chipping away at Jabali.
We also have Shell in that category as well, but
Yeah, but
really
Jabali has
fantastic
got
play so far
so
by
his
the
health,
team.
so that
Aletta
Surtac
really
Jabali,
controlled
I think his
the
health is
battlefield.
really
Got that payload for the blue team
actually
headed
pretty
the wrong
healthy.
direction. You can
So
see
I
the
feel like
percent
it
on the
was
top.
their
Diminishing,
decision
going the wrong way. Do we
in a
have
way that,
comeback in
you
order
know,
here?
Yeah.
It looks like we've got a tie, and
because
the
as
red
long as
team
Jabali has
overtaken
a
the
shield, it's
lead
not
with
necessary to,
Surtac
you
and
know,
Corey now
heal
pushing
him right
the
away.
correct way towards the finish line.
And
We've
then
got
there's
a
a health
nice
pack
skirmish going on
right
here.
next to that Jabali.
I think if Ruby's Rangers have a chance to
So
win
it really
this
comes
map
down
and
to
potentially win the entire matchup,
your
it really is
team's
going to fall on
strategy.
Surtag's shoulders.
Yeah.
Needs to play that Jabali correctly.
You know,
throw up
sometimes
the
like
shields to
I almost
cover
don't
his,
don't even think of
allies on his
Jabali
team.
as a tank.
If
I
he
just
can do that, especially
think of
utilizing
him
the
as like
ults
almost
correctly, I think they've got
a
great
trap. He
shot
just
at
kind of
winning
live on
this.
the
They do
map
have quite a
to
sizable
like
lead
just
now, but could swing the other
just
direction.
catch other
Not
people
careful.
like
We've got
buy
Gloria
some
on
time.
screen right now, showing what she's capable of.
I feel
swap
he can be
different
he can be
styles of
very
weapon. You have
useful
the
in
AR
payload.
as her
But
ability and the shotgun as her base
you
weapon.
do need
and
very good
see
positioning
they're
for
gonna
him.
continue
I
to
feel like
push
they might be
back
going
their
too tight in
opponents,
here.
Forklift and their teams forward. This is exactly how you want to execute payload race.
Yeah, you mentioned the use of ultimate being kind of a crucial thing, and I absolutely saw that. Right after you said it, you saw Jabali busting out the Arc Storm there with that spinning ability, just completely destroying with his weapon as he spins freely. And then we have
That
Gloria
Gloria is
with
really
the quicksand
sneaky.
bomb that was able to pick up a kill as well. But it looks like the red team now cruising towards the finish line. Can Lex do anything to stop them? It's gotta
Oh,
be
Rodeo
difficult.
Rodeo went
90%
AFK
now, the final 10%.
Gloria's too
Might be
overpowered.
having a
When
network
you
issue.
get the
The red team.
headshots,
or something.
Wasim is doing
When you get
everything
the
they
headshot,
can
she
by
does
themselves to
5,000
hold them
damage
off,
per-
but no.
so she's gonna
Ruby's
take out
Rangers
pretty
much.
take
Ruby's
all
Avengers
three
winning
round
again.
one
Oh my God.
matchups
Rodeo
as
went
well. A
AFK.
very impressive start to the event. Shout out to Ruby's Rangers for putting in the work early and really just knocking away 2 wins back to back. We're not even going to see round 3 because we're going to head to the next matchup next.
Absolutely. For those of you guys at home that are just getting into T3 Arena, make sure you download it, link in description and all of that. But I would love to point out one of my favorite heroes that you get early on in the game. That is Gloria. You can bring up Gloria onto the screen. She's got some amazing abilities and the ability not only to use an AR, like for long range engagements, but she also has the ability to swap over to a shotgun. So you see her MD2
She's okay, but
double-barreled
you gotta
shotgun
reload
does
each
significant
weapon
damage close range,
individually,
or her
and
active
you can
ability,
swap
that
weapons
CMR
and then
assault
forget to
rifle,
reload the other
absolutely
weapon, and then
rips
you get
through
fucked when
opponents.
you
So
try to swap
really
back.
versatile,
You gotta
short
reload.
and long range, and her ultimate ability is really fantastic as well. But here is the first round has come to our completion, and we have Ruby's Rangers taking both maps, and they will take round number 1 with a 2-0 score, which means Hunter's Heroes and Gloria's Gladiators will face off next in our round 2 of our T3
Ooh,
Arena
Hunter
Tap Tap
versus
All-Stars Cup here.
Gloria.
That was a super exciting payload race. I'm excited to see more nail biters as well in that Crystal Assault, that elusive Crystal Assault. The question becomes, when will we see that round 3? Will it be the next matchup or will it be 3 from now? But regardless, as a reminder, go check out T3 on Tap Tap right now. All you have to do, go down to click the link in the description and the pinned messages and all the live broadcasts, and you'll be able to do that. And we also will have a prediction. As well for round 2. You can go check out on the Tap Tap post. Look at some of these replays. You can see the Aletta really doing work on Jabali, and I think her mobility is what really sets her apart as a hero.
Dude, those headshots are insane.
Absolutely. The mobility is absolutely huge for Loletta. You can see Gloria on the screen now doing work, and that will do it for replays for round number 1. We've got our second game in the books and gearing up now for the next round. We'll have 2 different teams taking each other on and seeing the battlefield for the very first time. If you had any takeaways there, Coach, what were they?
I was watching the gameplay, and of course, it moves so quickly, and I think the teams that have some chemistry, they have some players that have been putting in the work. Some of our community members that are a part of this event, I think, can lead the charge on the way you want to execute some of these objective maps. I think Team Deathmatch will be the big toss-up, and one of the things that was so successful in TDM that set Ruby's Rangers apart was the ability to take down squads quickly, but not do it too aggressively. You want to stay patient. You want to try to find that one pick to where you have the player advantage, and then you push the equation. They were able to do that not only with their team comp, with Hualing in the background, but also with the way they were executing. And so as we take a look at all of our teams again, as a reminder, it will be Hunters Heroes versus Glorious Gladiators next. They're on deck. They're getting set up right now. And again, we've got a couple different ways you can earn some rewards. So if you're waiting, I've seen you all in chat, whether you're in the T3 or you're in the tap chat. If you want a chance to get some rewards, there's a couple different ways to do that. Number 1, I believe we're going to pop up a code on screen that all of you can redeem right here.
Redeem the code in options in the account settings.
Simple. Up in the top right-hand corner of your T3 Arena, there's a menu button. Click that. Go down to options. Click that button. Then head to account, and in the right side, right-hand corner, there will be redeem code. That's how you do it. Look, Lance has already got it up on the screen right now. We're playing in between rounds. I mean, we're too locked in. But you can type in this code right now for your chance at some rewards, and we'll have a ton of other ways that you can earn rewards, not only by typing in these codes, but like I mentioned, if you go into the live streams right now, specifically tap live streams, !prediction. We'd have another prediction in tap currently. You get to predict who you think will win between Hunters Heroes or Glorious Gladiators. Now, they're
going to be doing a lot of them.
The content of the codes are a little bit random. So
the next one will be different. Number 2.
I'm going with the tried and true method here.
I remember some of the codes of
order. The Glorious Gladiators does come first. I like Gloria more than Hunter anyways as a beginner hero.
The next one will be better. The next one will be better.
I will stay on the other side of that equation.
Next one will be better, definitely.
Gladiators were looking pretty strong, and they were spending some time practicing before the event. T3 God, Kairos in particular, were working together on some team comps, and like I was saying,
the way I think
I have a
they set it up is that they're going to be doing a lot of these during the whole stream, and you kind of never know what you're going to get. So now,
going to see Hualing from T3 God, and if not Hualing, I think Kazuma was his second choice. So
the next one's going to be better. I'm sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure.
I cannot wait to see it. We are prepping right now again back to the penthouse gallery for our team.
That's the same for everyone.
Game number 1, we've got T3
the content of the
God,
codes will be different every time.
Bobby plays. Get ready to take on Orange Juice, Thesaurus, PG, and this is Chris.
We are underway. You can already see Hualing going to work currently. T3 God is actually pushing the equation. Has already found one pick on the Scotty on the other side. Finds the second. A full team wipe right off the bat. This is what I was talking about. My team has gone down, but your team, Lance, T3 God is leading the charge with 4 picks already.
Oh my God.
Hualing is absolutely incredible. T3 God is living up to the name. Comes out very confidently, setting out those pings, and with a maxed out Hualing, he can actually see these characters through the wall. And this is where that
oh my God.
and he gets the team right there over the wall. They had to wonder where that even came
That's an instant double kill.
Gotta feel good when you've got somebody on your team that has been playing this game since the beginning. I know this is one of the way into the event. A lot of the same we saw from Rodeo earlier, but in this matchup,
I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that. This is like exactly the type of falling that I hate going against.
God. Yeah, I hate to go against this type of falling.
It really does. If you line up the heads as you're seeing,
they just can't
go.
Oh my God, they just can't leave that room
right now. And I don't know if we're gonna exhaust the timer on this particular game. As T3 God,
Scotty's got to wait for her ultimate.
and really showing up.
Well, and the big point to think about when you think about trying to play, arena shooters like this, specifically T3 Arena competitively, is T3 God is keeping the pressure downfield and trying to keep the other team.
T3 God's down.
Yeah, they just
it's chance
Heroes to push the equation and try to swing it back in their direction. It looks like they're able to do that thus far. You see an Osas for the first team.
I think they were too slow there.
This sniper is a fantastic hero, one of my favorite to play. Close range encounters, 1v multiple situations, very difficult to execute. They're able to grab the team wipe the other direction.
Yeah, you're probably not going to see too many 1v3s with Osas in short range, and if you do, you got to put your caps on that gentleman. But I will say, the spawn trap was on for quite some time, as we have a bit of a battling going on right now. It does look like we are evening out a little bit, 12-7 with score. But to be clear, there are multiple exits out of spawn. You don't have to run through the same narrow pathway over and over, and I think they finally discovered just that, as we've got a comeback going on. 13-9, it's a race to 20.
I am very impressed with this comeback, and I think the big denoting factor was I have to imagine Hunter's Heroes said, all right, we've got to swing this back in our favor somehow. Let's take down T3 God, and then we cannot relent on the pressure. We need to
they have to push.
So far, so good. We've almost had an even score. Finally, T3 God with the ult comes in and finds another. That's now 15-11. Lance, we've got 2 minutes left, but we only need 5 eliminations. That's less than 2 full team wipes on the side of Gloria's Gladiators. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it down to the end of the timer. This is definitely going to be settled before that. 17, yeah.
Fight as a team. I think that's their key to success.
Everyone's saying be
this is incredible work right now from T3 God. He's come from behind here
and
sneaks up on OJ, picks up a full squad wipe right now. 18-11, and here are 2 more lined up. He connects once, takes a bit of damage, and is going to connect again. 1 more to go. Who's it going to be?
Oh my God, that's
for the 20
look at Cairo.
Gloria's Gladiators take map number 1.
It's
it is
happy
a
like a
best
kid.
of 3 series, so they can be on match point going into
nice job, T3 God.
race. Now, I will say, with T3 God kind of leading the charge with Hua,
that's still the first game.
That card back up. Let's
talk
through those.
There's a second
stats.
one. There's a second map.
This character is
I would
so
hate you if I was going up against that, but
in the right
gotta
hands,
respect
because
that.
T3 God was
Clean, very clean.
TDM. Lance, my big question is Hua Ling going to be as effective on payload race, especially when you have the likes of maybe a Jabali on the other team throwing down?
Yeah, Jabali's a good counter for
I would say absolutely going to be just as effective on almost every game mode right now.
Can just tank it out.
Definitely probably the strongest hero in the game overall, because she does have that compound bow. 1-shot ability to all but I believe 3 characters in the game. The only characters able to withstand a headshot from Hua Ling are Ruby, Victor, and Jabali. But let's go ahead and check out some replays. And before we do, get to the link in the description and check out the TapZap store, where you can download T3 Arena amongst other titles. And there is the ultimate ability from Hua Ling. Floating in the sky, she is an absolute menace.
No, I think that ultimate ability, as well as that scanning radar, that passive ability that she has, especially with these maxed out characters, I think this is a key part to T3 God's success, is that he knows where the enemies are, and then time that shot around the corner and find the Elim, if not a full team wipe, if using the ultimate correctly. So very well done. Led charge by T3 God, but the teammates playing support. As we get into payload race and we start watching the team comps evolve, probably see another Hua Ling, but if the opposing team has a little bit of some T3 Arena IQ, they could swap it up on them and throw some maybe tanks on the side to try to survive those penetrating shots.
I love it. We've got a Mark and a Kazuma here on
or Japanese friends.
They choose Jabali. But T3 Arena. T3 God
Iris is down.
Kazama.
Hua Ling does, but
AKA
some serious damage.
Kazama is a good pick in this map, but
with Scotty and takes down
Kazama has really low health.
That is going to be the
so
to their success.
It's really easy for Kazama to go down.
Make sure he cannot be a difference maker, and if you can focus him down, you then have to play your advantage. Hopefully, you don't lose your life in the process. Now, I do believe we're going to see certainly a modicum of different heroes this time around. It is T3 God playing Kazuma this time instead of Hua Ling, and then they also have, looks like,
yeah, that's the way they use Kazama. So you, a very good way to use Kazama is to fly right above your opponent,
or attack them from the back.
If you fly right up, for example, even with Jabali's shield, shields, you can shoot right from the top.
She can not only do a decent amount of damage, but she can use her special ability to heal her teammates and herself. Does a heal over time and an amazing initial boost of heal, so that's great. This is kind of a runaway on this one. We get the blue team. It's like T3 God supporting his team, pinning everyone back with Kazuma, and they are unable to advance super far as the payload for the blue team headed down the hill towards the finish line.
Yeah, blue team's damage is just so high.
If they want to have a chance.
Red team's problem is a little bit in the team combo where the damage is not so high.
Guess what? It will be done and dusted. It will be heading into matchup number 3.
And
so
then if
you can see Kairos is just running this payload to victory at this point.
Tank combo isn't working too well,
this is going to be a 2-up, 2
they are
down unless
just gonna
some
get crushed
monster
easily.
effort
I mean,
from their
I actually do
opponents
think you
comes
can pull
around
it
the
off.
corner, but it
Iris
essentially
and Jabali, if you can always keep pushing the payload, it's actually not an awful idea.
It's
But
really tanky.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen 100%.
Kinda
Is locked in, and Gloria's Gladiators, as predicted, I might
and
add,
so
will
quickly
emerge victorious. Going early in the alphabet always has its perks, and T3
It really is about the team combo, I think, in this
match.
match.
So nice work to them.
Nice work indeed. The question is, did you place your prediction
Kazama
correctly?
is a
Did
good
you
choice.
vote on Gloria's Gladiators? If you know T3 Arena, you know the community, you know T3 God, you may have just won some rewards. So make sure you take a look at that in your
If
store.
T3 God
will be added in later this week.
shows falling instead,
We've had a chance to
yeah,
watch
it's
now
probably
all
not
of
so
the
good
4 teams
anymore
today.
because of the
Certainly,
Iris
Gloria's
plus
Gladiators
Jabali
look
combo.
Yes.
most, may I say, powerful under the command of T3. But the good news is we're going to be able to see some new game modes down the line and some new matchups. So if there's a chance here that T3 God could be stifled by one of our first teams, maybe it's Aletta's Avengers or maybe it's Ruby's Rangers. Ruby's Rangers also looked fairly strong. They also took the 2-0 lead against Aletta's Avengers. And so could be a little bit of a more difficult back and forth.
Yeah, you can.
It really could.
So Asterix asked about voting, so you can vote on tap. So just go to tap.io and go to the T3 Arena page, and you will see
we're seeing a good mixture of them. One of the things that I think was
the post where
the last
event
round, in addition to T3 God floating in the air with Kazuma just raining down rockets, I also saw that Bobby Play switched over to Mark, which is a little bit more versatile than Osas, who he was in the first round, and that really took the team to the next level. They had more than just T3 God out there to hold down those choke points, and really, Kairos time, you love to see it. He was happy to just sit on that forklift and guide that thing all the way down the hill to victory.
No, it's not a clickbait.
You have to play objective. It didn't matter if you found 2 eliminations the entire match.
There are a lot of
0
codes.
or you found 10.
And there's gonna be a
objective
new
is everything in
final
payload
code as well.
race. So as a reminder, all of our replays are brought to you by TapTap.
For the winner.
You can check out T3 on TapTap right now. Link in the description. Those pinned messages will give you everything you need in order to do the downloads. As we take a look at some of the replays, Kazuma certainly was a strong force to be reckoned with. Certainly, if you haven't played the game too often,
look at their faces. They're all really intense.
Himself flying in the skies is difficult to track down.
He really is.
I gotta win.
If you do see a Kazuma on the other team, for me, he's a target on side because he's squishy, man. He doesn't take many shots, get a couple of good shots on Kazuma, and he's out of there, back to spawn, and he'll have to rejoin the arena. So again, not a priority for one of the teams, and with those rockets and the angles, he's able to stay on a different level than his teammates and really hold down choke points quite effectively, while his teammates is able to stay with the payload and get it all the way to the finish line, and really pretty dominant victory there on payload race.
Well, the good news for everybody at home, unfortunately, you can't play in this event, but you can play along a little bit with the predictions I've mentioned. And also, we've got another giveaway code that we're about to pop up on screen for you. We're going to bring these up about every single time a matchup finishes. Well, guess what? It's good stuff,
What's
too.
a gift?
You're wrong, so don't type it in.
I don't think it will be 5 coins.
To type in this code.
No way.
More. I don't want 5 coins.
Menu, go to options, go to your account.
I don't need coins anymore.
Redeem code. Get your free coins, get your free rewards. These will continue to increase, by the way, the rewards that you get for watching the broadcast. So stay tuned.
Let's guess. Let's guess what's the gift
in the second code. Action. And so far, 2 up, 2 down for
I guess it's
2 matchups. I'm still excited to see that.
I'm guessing 15 coins. I'm guessing 15 coins.
Someone says tap 1. Tap, tap, 1.
That's right. Enter it in.
It's
Get
15
yourself some
coins.
rewards. Those will
It should be
ramp
more
up
than
as the
15
stream goes
coins,
on. Some
please.
great incentives to stick
5
around for
coins?
sure.
No
I'm
way.
still hoping
No
to see one of my
way.
favorite heroes on the battlefield, and I'm going to
No
give
way.
at least
No
a shout
way.
out to whoever
No
uses
way.
her
It's still
perk.
5
Do you know
Still
who it
5
is?
coins. The next one will be better.
You said-
I'm sure the
you
next
said
one
you
will be
liked
better.
Gloria,
Okay,
but-
now I
but-
have
LMAO,
10
they're
Yeah,
trolling
points.
us.
Yeah,
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 I'm not
okay.
actually sure.
Have 10
who are you
coins.
talking about?
I love me some Diggy. I like the new hero came out last patch, and Diggy, half shark, whale, fish, half girl, and she's incredible. So really, really excited to see her on the battlefield. She's another that could qualify as kind of a distraction. Again, Hua Ling, though, on your screen is quite the dominant force as we've seen so far. Here's Diggy. She's got herself a double-barrel shotgun, incredibly savvy in
I'm
the
afraid
close
the
range
next one
fights,
is
but
the
illusory
5 coins.
touch,
I-
man, talk about
I'm pretty sure
overpowered. I don't
there
wanna
will
say
be
No, I'm
top
not
balance, but
sure.
She
Yeah.
can
I'm not
move
sure.
around the arena. She's
we're gonna
great
have
for
boxes
objective
in
play.
here.
And if we
I
get
hope
to
so,
Crystal
I hope so.
Assault,
Do
I
we?
highly expect to see her on the battlefield.
I don't
Not only
know.
does she move quickly, can form
I
a
don't know.
great counterattack, but
Oh,
also
look
is
at
one of the
Diggy.
most damaging characters overall with the enemy Crystal. So look for Diggy on the battlefield if we do get to Crystal Assault.
I will say too,
Oh, they
Lance,
always
because
use the
all of our
same
heroes
map
are
for
maxed
the
out for our
Crystal,
creators in this event. Diggy's
For the
passive
first
is
match.
such a valuable
Are
asset
they in
as
the
well. She
wrong-
will heal
wrong map?
whenever she goes into what I call
thought
fish
it's-
mode. So keep an eye out for that if we do see a Diggy on the battlefield. But now, our brand new matchup. Didn't get a chance to talk
Yeah, I
about it
thought
too
we
much.
were
This
closing
is
with-
Atlantis Avengers versus
Oh, it's
Hunters
the
Heroes.
rematch?
We've seen
Oh,
both of
it's
these
a-
teams
Another
play
round.
before.
Oh, it's
We do
another
see
round.
Hunters
Yeah,
Heroes
it's
Yeah.
another
back
round
on the
already.
screen in a
T3 God
moment, but
chooses
right
falling
now,
again.
Rodeo, Wasim, we've got everybody back. We've already seen the
Rodeo
names. The
is
question is
still-
who's going to come out on top this time around.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like we do have a matchup
He
happening
does
right now.
not
I gotta
move.
say though, that was the names that I'm seeing, but it looks like we actually have Gloria's Gladiators on the battlefield right now because I'm seeing Bobby
Oh,
Blaze.
Rodeo,
I'm
my
seeing
man.
John Dodd,
Rodeo,
so
my man. Oh,
we're running
no.
it back fresh off a win right now, and they are spawn trapping these guys. To say
Oh,
the least.
no.
In here and trying to
no.
get out red team.
Oh, no,
struggling at
Rodeo,
the
my
moment.
man.
Yeah, again, this is team deathmatch to start.
Is it
And so as you
possible
see
to-
our
to
players
do a
addressing
rematch?
The other side,
think
there's no objective besides
Rodeo's
final
device has got
eliminations.
some
And so
problems.
the question is, how do you do that correctly? We were talking about playing together as a unit, playing trades, playing corners correctly. Those are the big things to watch out for: is which teams are going to play together, and then which teams kind of go play hero.
Yeah, we're getting
Sometimes
some
it works,
info
especially
here.
if you're
Like
a talented
apparently,
player.
Rodeo is
But I
having
will
some
say,
issues with his
Christina on the screen,
iPhone,
one of the
something
first
like
times
that.
we've
I
seen
think
Yeah.
something
Christina.
went wrong
He
with
has
his
a couple
iOS
different ults you
update.
can
Something
choose
like
from,
Yeah.
and that trap ultimate is
There's some
super
problem with the
valuable in
device.
order to protect your flank if you're trying to hold down a sight line.
Fantastic when it comes to team play. Gloria, an amazing support hero, although I wouldn't necessarily categorize her as support. She has a grenade launcher, and those things can do significant damage from close range. It is enough to one.
I think we
or
definitely
two-shot
need a
somebody,
rematch.
very, very quickly down to zeros. You can see these guys congregating and spawn. Looks like Rodeo having a bit of a problem over there, but we'll get through it. The cool thing, though, about Christina is when she lobs those grenades, if they don't make contact with the player, they actually stick on the ground and can be used as a bit of an explosive.
Rematch,
So you can see them,
please. Rematch,
you can't shoot them
please.
to get them to go away, but in addition,
Rematch, please.
for her supporting ability, she has the ability to launch sticky bombs. You can stick to the walls, to floors, you can set traps. You can see that they're doing just that, throwing them in and doing significant damage to the enemy, popping up 2,800
But honestly, I
damage there
don't
for an enemy
really
connection.
feel.
And
I
as a
personally wouldn't
reminder,
use-
I'm
wouldn't choose
pre-checking all of
Huawing
our
in this
notes.
map.
Looks like this is Aletta's Avengers versus Gloria's
know.
Gladiators.
We were
If I'm
choose
remembering
also
correctly, based
in
on
this
our
map,
other
right?
teams. And so again, as you take a look
in
at
the
this,
past,
so all of
yes.
these teams have competed
Like,
before.
really
now they're
early
playing
on,
a
when-
different matchup. We
when
started
it
with Aletta's
wasn't
Avengers
even in
versus
early
Ruby
access,
Rangers,
I
then
was
Hunters
playing
Heroes
all
versus
sides in
Gloria
this map
Gladiators, and now
all the
we're seeing
time.
the other side of the coin, which is
But
Gloria's
recently,
Gladiators
I
versus Aletta's
tended
Avengers.
use kind of like
T3
mid-range
got going
heroes
to
a
town
little
right
bit
now,
more.
getting off
Like
lots of
Shell?
shots. Quick on the
Or-
draw, he is, takes
Shells,
down Jabali
melee,
from behind. And we've got, despite seeing a very one-sided map so far with, essentially some spawn trapping
I
going
think they're
on,
probably
it's
gonna do
still
a
only
rematch.
9-3. It's definitely something that, can become from behind successfully. We're up to 10-3 now. Still 2 minutes left. But trying to cherry pick those kills on Rodeo as he is struggling just a bit. We've taken the dog for
This
a
is
walk
also
or
a map
something.
for a clash.
Yep, I do believe so. But Bobby
and I think
plays
in
Kairos,
Clash,
T3 God, doing what they
Judax
do
is
best,
pretty
which
good
is
in this
they'll
map
find
as well.
eliminations. I want to spend some moment
He's
here
a little bit
talking about
more
Bobby plays,
versatile.
you know, with the
Scotty
skills
is
that he's
the best.
accustomed to. He's an FPS
the best player in
player,
this map, I
tried
think.
and true. Playing Mark as his
Scotty's the
hero
most
of choice
versatile.
just makes all the sense in the world. One of the
Yeah,
most
we're getting a lot of
traditional
questions about
DPS
Rodeo
characters you
here.
can pick, and so kind of playing not really a
We're
hit
trying to
point
see
role, but
what
maybe a
we
support
can do with the
DPS role
whole
for
Rodeo
T3 God.
situation.
T3 God can play the
We'll keep you guys
stance,
updated
and
on it.
then Bobby plays follows up with the damage. It says, "Hey, I'm here to play the trade should things go awry."
You know, I gotta say out loud, I feel compelled to holler this loudly. Headphone warning. Coming out of spawn with a vengeance, pushing them back, and we've got ourselves the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's 11-7 right now.
Oh, Wasim and Lax got
I'm taking Ruby, and we are gonna
mixed up.
push out. We're not gonna die without a fight, and he has gotten these guys back in the game.
Look, again, sometimes all you need is a bit of momentum on your side, and if you can carry that forward, you will find success. Now, looks like T3 God and company are going to answer in kind, still 13-7, and
The
they are
blue
playing a
team,
bit of a
blue team's,
deficit based on the
blue team's combo
situation
is
we have with
really,
Rodeo. So
really
try to play a
damage
little bit to
driven.
protect the president, make sure that they're able to
They're-
find eliminations as
they're gonna have,
well.
like,
2v3s are
really
difficult
high
to execute,
DPS.
but I will say,
And it's
the
really difficult to
Ruby
counter.
and the Jabali combo, you got
their-
a lot of shields to work
red
through
team's
if you're
combo,
T3 God and company.
I think
You know, I
it
feel
would
I feel a
work
little bit bad for
if
Rodeo here, but at the same time,
because
yeah, if you were going
in
to be in a
red
2v3
team's
situation,
combo, Rodeo is
Jabali
kind of the
and
only
Ruby, that's not
damage
a terrible
dealer,
combination. They
yeah,
have so
in the
much
combo,
HP
so,
within shields right there, but
Rodeo
they
is really
will
important
not be able to
in
come
that
back and do the damage needed to get
kind
back
of
into this one. I gotta say though,
combo
Wasim putting up
I do feel like Ruby is very versatile. Like in some situations, she can
Ruby
actually
left
like
and
deal
right
out
with
some very
Ruby.
impressive
She's got
damage.
those,
Yes.
like daggers that
But
come out in
yeah,
threes, and they do
when
a
you're going
significant amount of
against like a
damage. She
full
hides
DPS
behind
team
her
like
shield.
that,
It's pretty cool. She can shoot through it.
Glory
so
is going to be the
teammates,
one putting
but
out
the
any
enemy
decent damage.
cannot.
Yeah.
So until it's destroyed, it's going to block all incoming damage. Really, really cool from Ruby, and I was really happy to see her get used there in that matchup.
Well, that is a map 1 victory for Gloria's Gladiators. They swept their last opponents 2-0. Are they going to do it again? And only time will tell. I want to take a look at Ruby's kind of set cards so we can see all of the abilities that she has. It was the first time we've seen Ruby on our screen, if I remember correctly. And if Ruby is, Lance, you were doing a great job of describing what she is. She is a tank to some degree, right? She's able to throw up those shields for your team, but she also has a
I
bit
really
of
love to use
utility. And so
Ruby,
as we look at this,
especially
the
lately,
bolts of fate, the throwing of the cards, the lightning bolts do
because
quite a bit
I
of
find
damage.
her
You
to
got
be
3
really
at a time, but then
versatile
that
in
active
a
ability,
lot
the
of
Mystic Shield
different
is
maps.
the big one. This is how you protect your team, give them a bit of
some of
cover
the smaller
and utility
maps
to
and
be able to
larger
shoot
maps,
through those
she's really-
and also block the incoming damage.
really versatile.
One of the things too to point out is the HP and shield are actually combined to create 70.
Is Rodeo
what is that,
playing from
8,400,
PC?
damage.
Oh.
He was playing
it's-
on
it's a
iOS, and
lot
his
of,
iOS device got some
incoming,
problems.
Yeah, he
abuse
was
that she
having
can
some
absorb.
problems, so I
And Ruby,
think he
very,
might
very
be
strong, but
using
also
another
does a
platform
fair
right now.
bit
I'm not
of
sure.
damage. She throws out
Please,
those
how
bolts
to
of
use
fate
codes.
cards,
To redeem
at
the
enemy.
codes, go to
The
your
ultimate ability
options
there are
account,
basically
and then you should
rockets
have
that
a
can kind
redeem
of hone in on her
code
targets and
button.
do a significant amount of damage and can
Options
clear the
account,
arena
yeah, exactly.
very, very quickly. So Ruby, a very, very strong character. One of the strongest in
Brazil.
the game. If you play her correctly, almost
Surprise-
impossible to kill. You have to
how
have
many,
the right
how many
heroes.
Brazilian fans we have on
Well,
here?
I'm excited to see if Aletta's Avengers can pull it back and tie up the series
I'm a
1-1.
Sindri
Force
main.
a
I don't
crystal
really
assault.
use
Hopefully
Sindri.
Radio gets
How about
everything
you guys?
figured out so that
I
he can
find
compete,
Sindri
help out his team this
to be
time
not
around. I will
really
say they
my
might want to start
style.
thinking about a
It's
two-person
my
comp.
style.
Things go completely
Like
awry.
I use her
We'll talk a
sometimes
little bit about some
when
of
I
those
just want
comps
to chill.
and
You know
what
what I mean?
could
Like,
be so
like I just want to
successful
have
thus
like a
far.
couple
I
like
wanna remind
easygoing
everybody,
matches
Like
because like
passive
play
damage.
T3
Yeah,
Arena
exactly,
right
'cause,
now
like,
on
I do
Tap
feel like
Tap.
you don't
Okay,
have
so
to
all
put as
you
much
have to
like
do is go
thought
Tap Tap. There's a
as
link
maybe
down
some
in the
other heroes.
description. There's a
Like
link
for
at the
example,
top. It's a pin
like we
code
talk
to all of our
about
live
we talk a
streams.
lot
Go
about
download
Huali,
T3 on Tap
right?
Tap and
I
check
mean,
out
she's
all
strong,
the
but
other
she's a
exciting
very
things
active
that they
character.
have.
Like
And
you
I
have to be
believe we've
focused
got
on a lot
a
of
few
things to actually
replays we wanna show you from
play
this
properly
last
with
matchup.
her.
T3 God
You know, sometimes
doing
you
what he
just
does
you know
best
you
while
just
late,
kind of
coming in strong,
just kind of
finding
want to
some
chill,
early
like a
Yeah.
quick
eliminations.
match,
Now,
like a
I will give credit where
Yeah, you
credit's
need to be
due. Lex
focusing
was
all
doing
the time
everything
as
he
well.
could to block the incoming fire and try to swing it back their direction. Was able to at least pick up one pick.
nerf Sindri. No,
Even
I don't
close
think
range,
she
though,
needs a
while Lane
nerf.
getting those shots down range. T3 God doing a great job to support his team, and again, put him on his back.
If you
and,
play
gets him to
against
the
for
finish
new
line there.
players,
They're
if
up
you play
1-0
against
in their second
Sindri,
match here, and
you
with one
should
more game victory here. That will be probably
Is
an
it
automatic
hard to
trip
hear
to
us?
a top seed,
We'll-
is my guess,
we'll
based
check
on what we've
up
seen
on
so
it.
far. Again, I'm Power Bang. This is Grandmaster Goj, and we're here with T3 Arena in the Tap Tap All-Stars. And I'm so excited with the game. Let's check out the leaderboard. We've got Gloria's Gladiators right now sitting on 1 win, and Ruby's Rangers with 1 win as well. Letta's Avengers, Hunter's Heroes, each with a loss. That's what we're gonna roll with. Love to see it, Coach.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. I think Aleta's Avengers are trying to get a bit of payback here, trying to tie up their record 1-1, but they're going to have to do it by winning the next 2 maps. Now, Lance, I want to talk about some of the strategy that goes into Payload Race, because we're heading back into that map currently. What comps do you like to use? What heroes do you like to pick for Payload Race?
For Payload Race, I love a little bit of range and also some shields, right? You need somebody that can do damage to the opponents at range. I love personally a Hualing for that, an Otsus for that, but you also need some Jabalis or Rubies that can stand next to the payload and just take an enormous amount of abuse. And you can see both of those heroes actually being chosen here. It looks like Lex and Wasim are really,
Which is
really
2 tanks.
taking that to heart. As
Yeah,
they've got
I don't know. So like,
four next to
what we're
payload,
seeing
and they
with
are
all the
out right now.
Jabalis here on payload is that
Moving,
they're actually like
they will
just
focus on top here.
sticking
We'll
to the
say
payload.
Victor is a fun
Would you
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
with Jabali?
Play a bit more aggro with the characters.
I don't like
Off
personally.
tank, and
I
has those
I kind of
charges
like
that are
stopping
so
people
deadly. You can
like
hit
halfway on their
stun.
tracks. Like
Looks Lex
as long as
and
as long as you
Wasim
have
in
someone
trouble,
else
yet
pushing the
again, just
payload.
trying to hold off their opponents. Bobby plays pushing the equation with Hunter this time around, and I know you had brought up how Hunter can be fairly valuable, especially at range if you can hit that first rifle shot, and they're just going to melt through these shields the best they can.
Hunter's got a really interesting weapon. He's got like a 3-round burst AR, and it's a little different than some of the other characters. It's got a little bit of delay to it, so you almost gotta like sweep and land those shots on your target as they move around. But if you can land all 3, he is devastating. He hits super hard. But one of the best things about Hunter is he has a grenade that'll allow you to see your opponents through walls. So it's one of the best heroes out there for providing intel.
I couldn't agree more. Information is key. Information is everything when it comes to winning these team-focused fights. And yet again, we're seeing another dominating performance. I say that as Wasim swings around the corner.
Ruby's ultimate is a little bit tricky. So Ruby's ultimate has a very long cooldown time. So if you if you're in a match, you probably are just able to use that ultimate for once or twice. So you've got to be really careful on the timing when you use.
And the windup
Ruby's
itself, I
ultimate.
do feel like the windup is kind of long. Like if you're not careful, you could be cancelled out of it,
Really are.
or like you could be caught before you actually manage to land anything.
2% and counting right now. Kairo's time and T3 God hanging out next to the payload, and you can see Kairo's time with Christina going down. T3 God Victor has a lot of HP. He's going to try to get in close on Wasim here with Ruby. Ruby able to escape. Now Lex able to get some damage going on. They've left their payload at 87%. This is a prime opportunity right now, perhaps reverse course. It looks like Lex and Wasim pushing Bobby and the rest of the blue team off of the payloads. This is a big swing of events right now. Gonna look to see one final push here from T3 God and friends if they can overcome.
Ooh, the Victor ult to swing him up into the sky. He's gonna have to be careful there, but I am extremely impressed with their ability to keep this match any sort of close. Now, I do think the T3 God, Kairos, and Bobby will not only win this map, but win this matchup. 2 up, 2 down yet again for the Glorious Gladiators, most likely securing top seed going into bracket play later. But we've got to give credit where credit
We've got to
due.
see
Aleta's Avengers did
if Rodeo's
everything they could
situation
given the circumstances.
can be solved,
That was really
and there
tough.
could be
I
some
feel
kind
like
of
Rodeo's
rematch.
picture is clippable. It's almost meme worthy. The name tag.
Oh
there.
yeah,
But
we're
I
we're
really
not
liked
sure
the
what's going on
saving
with
of that
Rodeo.
ultimate ability
Feels
by
like-
T3 God. He used the Victor ultimate ability
I hope
at
they
the
can
very
rematch.
end. And Victor, if you don't know what his ultimate does, it's basically a full-on sprint. And the guy looks like a football linebacker. He can hit you with that shoulder pad, pop you way up in the air, and it's going to do devastating damage. He's able to connect with all 3 heroes on the opposing team, move them right out of the way, and that payload is moving once again. Completely swung the tide of that match, and all credit, I think, goes to Victor.
No, couldn't agree more. I think the victor, the team comps, T3 God putting down damage. I mean, everything was in their favor in that matchup. The double tank comp certainly can work, especially on a game mode like Payload Race, but it wasn't quite able to do it this time around. Maybe try it again in the next matchup, and you'll have a bit better favor. But that is Gloria Gladiators, like I said, going up to 2-0 in their overall matches. Now, they will have one more matchup later in this series. They'll have a bit of a bye to watch some of the different action, but it was Bobby Plays, it was Kairos, and of course T3 God, one of our community members that are coming in swinging, and most likely will be at the top of that bracket.
Man, just looks fearsome. T3 God got the.
This team is really strong.
Yeah.
Looks like an operator.
They're all really strong.
Been, you know, deployed. He's fearsome. You're scared of this dude. I will say it was impressive play, and I mean, I feel bad for not slipping this in there, but you know, I wanted to end last
DPS or
game with,
tank.
You know, to the victor goes the spoilers, but it's true. Victor pick it up in the clutch time there, and they get that victory. No
I
problem.
noticed
Glorious
that
Gladiators
the
looking like
team
the
never
so far.
choose a healer, right?
Yeah.
They don't use Iris or Chemist.
Yeah.
I mean, they had one Iris on there, but like, I'm not sure what she was doing. She was actually like half a mile away from this.
They did use. No, she was. I think that it was actually their strategy in a sense. I believe, because you know the Jabali stayed alive.
Yeah.
And then the Iris also stayed alive in that match. So if for example Iris gave her healing bot to Jabali, and people would probably just focus on Iris and get Iris down first, and then deal with Jabali. So I think that was actually a pretty good strategy to keep Iris alive, make sure that she's alive, and Iris her ability has a pretty fast cooldown time, so she can just move that bot over to Jabali pretty quickly when she thinks Jabali needs some heals. So
I'm not surprised that we didn't see Chemist on there, because like, I don't think anyone had enough time to get comfortable with her yet.
Yeah, Chemist is pretty. The projectile is very difficult to.
Yeah.
You have to train yourself.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like you have to time it right. So like, in theory, like if you place the projectiles correctly, like you can actually like do some decent damage while healing yourself. But it's not something you get the hang of right away.
But I still hope someone can use Chemist in this match.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
To ruin them, as your teammates can easily pick them apart.
Right, exactly. Well, as a reminder, all of our replays are brought to you by TapTap. Check out TapTap now to find out all the exclusive, exciting titles.
TapTap is a pretty different platform from Google Play. So Google Play charges 30% commission, but TapTap does not charge any commission from developers. So for developers, every penny that you spend on the developer's game, including the indie games on TapTap, the developer get 100%. So it's different from the Google Play's model, where Google takes 30% of the commission from
the developers themselves.
Yeah,
totally. A serious game towards the end. Again, T3 got on Victor, really dropping that ultimate ability, that charge, dropping the shoulder, and saying, no, not today. But we do have our next battle coming up, it appears.
We're going to swap back in, and we can see this is Chris. You can see the Thesaurus, PG, and Orange Juice back on your screen. Currently, this is Hunter's Heroes. Now, as a reminder, Wasim, Lex, Rodeo, looking for a victory. This would be their first, but Hunter's Heroes have not found a victory either. This is only their second matchup, so a massive opportunity. And this is Chris playing Osis, gets the pick early. This could be the opening that they need in order to push this payload further and gain the lead. But an Osis on either side means we're going to see a sniper battle down lane, Lance.
I love me some sniping. Everybody who follows me knows that. But Osis here picking up the pick. One thing about Osis is he can drop that shroud on the battlefield. You see that purple? Well, Osis the other side cannot. It's a solid purple wall, and you can see the ultimate ability coming out, and it is basically laser eyes there, shooting that beam across the entire map. It will drop somebody from 100 to 0 very, very quick.
I gotta say,
Wasim used his ultimate a little too
the high risk, high reward playstyle
late.
fits me perfectly.
Could've
Sometimes
used
I will not connect. I will not be on my game. I won't be on my nondescript energy supplements to keep me locked in. Instead, I'll be missing all my shots and I'll be a complete waste of space. But Wasim is hitting right now. That's a back-to-back on Orange Juice and PG, keeping his opponents off all of the sudden. There is a huge opportunity here for Wasim and Lex to pick up their first victory.
Absolutely. Wasim really has put in the work here to get good at T3 Arena and ahead of this matchup. He sees the sword kind of peeking out a little bit, getting flanked though. Like
the disrespect in the comments though, that's called though. No way they're gonna lose to a team with a bot. You know, Rodeo is down, so we gotta get him. We gotta get him the toughest bot we can. We need to do Rodeo some respect.
This is actually just map 1. We swapped up the map order a little bit. This is payload race to start, and then we're gonna head to team deathmatch. And of course, if we need to go to that round 3 in the best of 3, we'll then head to Crystal Assault. Looks like the Saurus PG trying to get involved, but Wasim yet again.
They're trying their best.
Is connecting shot after shot.
Well, if Rodeo's device is not having the problem.
Yeah.
This is gonna be
I wish the red
really,
team
really
would
crazy
win.
match.
Please.
You know, T3 God and Rodeo, they're actually in the same club.
Yeah.
They're actually
Oh,
in
they
the same
win.
club.
The red team wins.
You know, so like we're still trying to work things out with Rodeo. Like we're still not sure what's actually going on, but yeah, hopefully he's gonna get it fixed in time. I want to see some actual good, strong, quality gameplay from him in here.
Let Us Avengers are 0-2. This would be a Let Us Avengers last matchup that they'll be playing in the round robin. But before we do anything else, I gotta say, I know chat's probably screaming at we missed the last giveaway, so we're gonna bring up the giveaway code right now.
Let's try this one, please. Tap presents it must be better.
Tap presents one.
Tap presents should be better than good stuff, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna guess something. If there's a tap presents one, you might as well just pick up tap presents two.
Tap presents one.
Please.
Guess work.
10 coins.
Coins.
I don't know. I haven't checked that.
Oh, it really is 10 coins.
No way.
So
I'm just kidding.
Is it gonna be better and better and better?
Are you serious? It's 10 coins?
Is it gonna be better and better and better?
Is there a tap presents two though?
Probably.
No way.
Probably.
Getting ready for the next little section of our show here. And before we do that, again,
Better
as
than
mentioned,
nothing, right?
head on over to the TapTap store and download all the latest games. You can do that and find T3 Arena there for download for free.
All of our replays are brought to you by TapTap. Really excited to partner with them for this event. They've been super graceful and amazing to work with.
Ooh, that was a really good hat shot.
I gotta say,
really
clean.
Clean
Clean
shot.
A show.
Whoa.
Elimination after elimination.
Wasim shot a really.
The
Well, they're both
Osas
really
pick
clean.
Seemingly proved fruitful. When you're on, you're on. And if you're on, you better take advantage of that opportunity to find a number of team wipes.
You really are saying it really well, honestly. Osas is the hero that you want to pick if you are on. Popping those heads from across the map. He is the single highest output of damage in the game. Really excited to see him get some use and for somebody to like come out and
really
execute
strong
with them in a number
in this
of
map.
ways. So
yeah,
really exciting.
Also,
match.
and the payload escort. I think it's also strong.
Yes,
penthouse in deathmatch, and we are live with that right now. This is game number 2 of the matchup, and again,
they can do it. They can do it. Please.
For their life, as Lex and Wasim trying to end it.
This is an opportunity for This Is Chris, Thesaurus, Orange Juice to swing it back in their favor. take the map count 1-1.
Oh, that's interesting. So right now,
we'll see more Crystal Assault later. I know
Lax plus
would certainly be sad
Wasim,
if we did it. That's one of his favorite game
they are
modes,
both
as we take a look at the team
damage
count, Orange Juice on
dealers.
Jabali,
Yeah.
this is the
And
second
then
time we've
TG
seen
and
Jabali,
OJ
maybe the only
combo
second time
is
we've
kind of
actually
like
seen Jabali on team
really
deathmatch. You need to
tanky.
be a bit more
Yes.
strategic with the way you play
And they
that
always
tank
move
in team
as a
deathmatch.
unit.
You have to fight as a
But
team,
Hunter,
because the
I think
1v
I think
multiple
Lax's
type
choice of
abilities
Hunter is
tank
pretty
like,
good because
Jabali
Hunter
probably
is
not
actually
there. With
pretty
a healer on
versatile.
you, though, I mean, you're gonna be able to take quite a bit of damage.
I mean, this composition that you're seeing out of this squad is really solid for more of the objective play. Things like Crystal Assault, things like especially Control, which we had meant to see. We might see a little bit later on today. But the healer tank combo doesn't put out the damage that one would need to
The
see
hot
here.
bot
So I
is
gotta
not
give
that
the edge
hard.
to Lex, Wasim, and the Rodeo here as they are able to jump out to a 2-1 lead early on in this one. But I expect the timer to run out potentially in this game because it's going to be hard fought to get these kills.
No, this is kind of a stall
We've
also got a healer that's going to try to sit on the tank. And then this is Chris is going to peek behind that cover and grab picks and then back off and just stall out the time. So they're going to try to keep this as close as possible.
Wasim is the red team, right?
This is Chris is going to try to connect.
Yes.
Yeah, Wasim's all red.
Osus battle. I was going to say I couldn't imagine Wasim would change heroes between those last two maps because he nearly single-handedly carried his team to victory in the last one because of the picks he was able to find. But with this team comp, Wasim might have a bit more trouble. As long as he wins his 1v1s against This Is Chris, I do see Wasim, Lex, and Rodeo taking this one home.
5-3, the current margin. They've got themselves a lead, and they are sticking together right now. Osus has got to get behind the shield. Otherwise, why have the Jabali? But able to pick up the kill here. And the Source does go down in a trade, 6-4 now, the margin. And Team Hunter here trying to get away from OJ.
I think if Chris chose a more versatile hero than Osas, their team comm is gonna be a little more, a little better.
I don't know. I think Osas saves the team.
Otherwise, you're going to be laying bullets down range, and then all of a sudden, This Is Chris may come up from behind and grab a few picks. But unfortunately,
you mean for red team or for blue team?
For red team.
Oh, I mean blue team. If Chris,
Okay.
if Chris didn't pick Osas and instead pick, I don't know, Scotty or Judax, I feel like that might be a better choice.
The Shadowfall ability,
Might be.
which is
I don't
Osas'
know.
active ability. It's like a little grenade that he throws down. It creates a giant purple wall. It's really, really
I think a
useful.
mid-rank
Or-
character would be better.
Yeah, or even a melee character because
Yeah.
because the Osas on the red team is gonna just stay. Well, yeah, he's probably just gonna stay behind the scene and sniping people around. But if you have like someone like Aleta,
Yes.
Dark Surge, and that right there is on screen again.
they just sneak around and come up close to the Osas.
Yeah.
Many times on screen. I think he will lose his life in the process, but I got to give credit where credit's due.
Ooh.
Lex is actually playing fantastic Hunter right now.
Ooh.
Nice
Those
shot.
snipes are just Twitter clips waiting to happen. Go put those on the timeline. Go.
Oh.
Oh. Put down a ton of damage, but uses active.
Whoa, that was.
Allows you to kind of create some distance between you and your opponents because Hunter wants to be fighting at long range, unless of course you're 1v1ing a healer.
Absolutely. This is going to be a timer game for sure. We've got 20 seconds here left on the clock. Can the blue team catch up? That is what remains to be seen, closing the gap to 10-15 here. 12 seconds left, and it looks like it's a high approach here. 16-11 now, and we are near the end. Visited spot, and that will be with Lex, Wasim, and the Rodeo picking up the victory.
Whoa!
They are down in the cams. A very impressive win. These
guys are pretty bad.
Wasim just carried the whole team.
Yeah.
Just a moment and pull up
He just carried the whole team.
Exactly where they're going to line up because Hunter's Heroes
And he
are
carried the bot.
0 and 2 now. Let Us Avengers are now 1 and 2. But if they
Some
do
bots are
tie,
getting really
let's say
good.
Hunter's Heroes
They're
win.
learning.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and
They're
talk about
AIs
this
and they're
tie.
I think
learning.
the hardboard Mark or
Yeah,
Osas is
yeah,
better.
yeah.
It will be a Let Us Avengers
Better than
that will
Gloria.
actually be a higher
Yeah.
seed. So that may determine whether or not they're playing somebody.
I don't
that
tend to
maybe on the
use
stronger
Gloria
side, or maybe
anymore
the teams
recently.
on the weaker
these
side.
guys have never
Only
played.
Why?
time will tell.
Because
If
there's
you have
no
a
new
three-way
skin
tie
for
and
that
everybody
for
is
her.
beating
I
each
think
other,
I had the fish skin.
Okay.
But I feel like Gloria, she's pretty easy to use. But then when you have heroes that are more difficult to use and you kind of lean in and learn those difficult heroes, you kind of feel like it's more fun to play with the more difficult ones.
I think she's a low stress kind of hero. So if like
Two.
Tap tap presents 2. You
Please.
can see it on your screen right now. Tap
power
that
bang.
in. Menu.
Tap.
2 options, 2 account
Tap.
to redeem code.
Your
That's
face
how you
is
do
happy
it.
to be on the
Very
screen
well
right
done
now.
by everybody at home. Congratulations
He's
on your
coming from a
rewards.
Clash
You got a
of
lot
Clans
more coming your
background,
way.
right? So you got some dudes
Absolutely,
like Power
love
Bank
to
who's
see
played,
it.
like,
Go
some of
get
the
your
top-tier
rewards.
games
And again, those will be
out
ramping up over the course
there
of the stream.
10
So make sure you guys keep it locked. Stay tuned. And a big shout out to Let Us Avengers because they do get
Really?
the victory there
put
in
together,
our
like, the
round
worst
robin.
players
Round it is just finished up. And I do want to give a little bit of
Didn't even reach the-
hero
the
shout out
kill
here to
total on that last
Osas if we can bring him up here in a bit. We saw one on each side of the arena that time. And man, they were busting awesome shots. Wasim seeming to really be
Vietnam
partial to this
#1.
guy. Doesn't have a ton of HP, but he's able to sit way in the
Full of
back
control.
with that Night Trust. And man, he can rip off some shots. If you connect with the headshot here, does a significant multiplier and can one-shot most of the heroes in the game. Shadowfall, as we talked about, creates that smoke field, blocking vision and dealing damage over time. We also have the ultimate ability, which is the Dark Surge.
Yeah, I think
And,
it's
that is
really a
pretty
pity that
incredible.
Rodian's device got
Dark
some
Surge on
problems
NT3 Arena
and couldn't
by going
really
to
join the
Tap Tap
tournament.
and downloading the game for free.
Road is
And
really
they'll
good.
bring you this replay here as we see Osas doing his thing along with Hunter.
This is the moments where, unfortunately, Lex wasn't able to show his prowess in a 1v3.
Yeah, it's
but
really
that
unfortunate.
shot from this is Chris in Wasim using Osas. So deadly, so powerful, but you have to hit your shots. If you want the key to success, by the way, against an Osas, push the equation, get right up in their grill because that sniper is very difficult to use
long is
in
it straight?
close range. But Smoke,
I mean,
What's
we
the
can
next
talk
one?
about it.
What's the
Regardless,
next
they-
match?
we've seen a number of matchups. I'd love to pull up our scoreboard on screen if possible and kind of talk through the records.
And who
What's
is this
still
guy?
possible for some of these
I don't even
teams?
know
I
who
know we're
that guy
about
is.
to get into the match, and so if the game's ready, we'll hop over there. But if we could look at the scoreboard, we'll be able to talk through where all of the teams have lined up through
Yeah, I mean,
round
to
robin.
be
And as
honest,
a
it's been
reminder
kind
for
of boring
everybody at
because
home while we're
there's-
waiting on
there's
this,
a lot of
the
skill
round
involved.
robin portion is just for seeding. So if a team goes 0-3, they've still got an
Still in it.
opportunity to win $6,000
I do
if
feel
they
like we
win
do
their
better.
bracket. Production, you guys are amazing. Check out this leaderboard right now. Glorious Gladiator still at the top 2-0. We've got Ruby's Rangers still waiting on their next 2 matchups. They're 1-0. And then the Let Us Avengers have jumped Hunter's Heroes because they have now won 1 matchup. It is 1-2 for their record. If Hunter's Heroes can win their next matchup, it might not mean too much for them unless one of these other 2 teams, and I guess it would have to be Ruby's Rangers, loses the next 2 matchups. So, Lance, there's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot more coming, and I know we've got a really exciting matchup next. I do believe, I'm getting word, it is Ruby's Rangers versus Gloria's Gladiators. So we're going to get a chance to see if Gloria's Gladiators can be
Can't
get that
wait.
all too elusive, undefeated, haven't dropped a map. I mean, I'd love to see Crystal Assault, but that's a nice little medal under your belt there if you can not drop a map in round robin play.
Ooh.
Man, I would love to see Crystal Assault, my favorite game mode in T3 Arena. We'll get to it at some point for sure, especially as we hit into the bracket rounds later on. But you're absolutely right. Ruby's Rangers comprised of Corey, Winsanity, and Tag. Whew. It's a solid looking and, might I say, handsome lineup over there. With Sanity doing work with Hua Ling earlier on in the contest. Excited to see if they can come back and really gear up for Bear. And they're going to have it here as I believe they are taking on Glorious Gladiators, which have been incredibly impressive so far. T3 God leading the way for them. I'm curious to see who he is going to choose. He's shown with Hua Ling. He's shown with Kazama. And I don't know who he's going with here, but we're about to find out.
Well, team deathmatch back
Falling
on the
again?
menu, and all of our players excited, ready
I
to
think
get
she's going to be a main set
underway.
for all
And I'm
of the
sure
matches.
at home, if you're watching right now,
it's
you've
kind of
been able to see some of these
expected.
creators
I'm
live
not
streams.
surprised
They're all
to
live
see her.
as well, and they've been watch partying the mainstream. So the question
T3
becomes
got
for you, Lance,
choose
do you think
Judex.
Winsanity and his team have been doing a little VOD review on T3 God? Because they've had 2 different
Gotta
matchups
make
they've been
it
able to watch
understood.
of T3 God compete. And if you can take down T3 God, then maybe play the train on Bobby
Oh,
plays. All
it's
up
a
to
very
Kairos to try to
interesting
save
team
the day.
combo.
I think some VOD review
All
could be
long
pretty
Two
range
snipers,
characters.
yeah.
this matchup.
Yeah.
Oh
Judex
my
is kind of like
goodness.
mid,
I agree
mid-long range.
completely, but
Yeah.
I'm just giggling right now at the
Oh,
actual
oh.
composition of T3 God.
Yeah, Blue
and
team is
Warriors
gonna
Gladiators.
have to
They've
work
got
really hard
3
on closing off the
extremely
distance.
strong long-range heroes, not super
Yes.
great in the close range, but
It will be really
serviceable.
difficult for them to
They've
close
got
up.
Judex,
Well,
who
but
we're
they have
seeing for the
Ruby.
first time.
They
T3
can
God
just
rocking Judex, and
they can
Judex,
just
in my
try
opinion, is
Go
one of the
close to-
all-around
use
strongest
use Ruby to
characters in the
tank
game because she's
tank
so
it out
versatile.
and
No real hard
help
counters,
the
and
other.
she can basically play well on any map with any team. So really liking to see Judex.
Yeah, they
on
can
the
use
battlefield for the
Iris
first
and
time.
Ruby combo to
Seems like it's
tank it
working
out
thus
and then
far.
just
4
move
up, 4
forward
down
and then
quickly.
get the
Yes.
Gloria
0
close
star.
up.
Now,
They must
anything
move
can happen, especially with a
forward.
quick team wipe the other direction.
But
Should
Judex is a
be
problem. Like
Kairos
Judex is kind of
trying
like
to
the
stand and
versatile
pull
option
this
right
time
here.
around. They're gonna say,
at all.
is it the hero
Oh,
or
oh.
is it the
It's
player?
like they don't even care
Regardless,
about,
Ruby from
you
Sir
know,
Tag is going to come around the corner and find an elimination. Their first
sure that
might
the
I
guys
add,
are taking
on the
care
side
of
of
it.
Winsanity
Like
squad. Yeah, hey, look, if you get some points and you're having
Ooh.
fun, that's all that matters. But we are playing for $10,000. So lock
Iris
in,
is a
boys. You've
good
got an
healer,
opportunity
I
to win
think,
some money.
in
And
terms
so
of
far, it is in
her
your opponent's
damage.
favor.
She can deal some
Kairos
really
Khan
good
looking
damage
like a natural here on Hua
in
Ling,
battle
doing
while
some
healing her
damage for
teammates.
Sure, but he's in trouble now.
Ooh,
Gonna bust
ooh,
out the ultimate. Can't even bring down Terror.
Oh, nice
Unable
steal.
to connect
What a
here.
That
drop.
ultimate, the
Winsanity
Iris
pushing him
ultimate
back. But
was
look at that, the
right
cover
on
from
time.
Osis with Shadowfall, able to allow them to retreat. Bobby plays, playing a great support role there. But
Oh, is it
ultimately,
healer?
it costs him his life.
What do you mean? That's the
I know
meta.
you brought up their team comp. I want to bring
Fire
it up one more
jet.
time.
That's
Talk
how you
about
prevent
high
headshots.
risk, high reward. You've got Osis and you have Hua Ling. These I call them
Ooh,
glass
ooh,
cannons. I mean, they
ooh.
can take a bit
That
of
ultimate was a
punch, but
little bit
for
wasted.
the most part, they are long-range heroes doing a lot of damage. And if you
Whoa,
push the
that's a
equation,
really
you
close.
might be able to swing it back in your favor. I'm sure Winsanity and Corey
Close-up
Surtag are
shot.
thinking the same, but you almost question the team comp choice from Wynn's side. If you know Hua Ling's going to be on this other side, you've seen a couple of these Osis. If all you needed was maybe like
I'm kinda
one
hanging on to
healer
the stream
or
just in case
maybe
they
a
come
Yeah, I feel like
Tripoli to give you
Winsanity
cover
might be
to
rushing
force your way
a little bit
into the
too hard
close range
here.
encounter, and I think you win this gunfight 9 times out of 10.
I think Corey here picks up a kill on T3 God, 6-12 right now in favor of T3 God and the Glorious Gladiators. But they just have to get aggressive. I mean, these are all long-range characters. Corey and Kairos trade somehow,
Oh.
but that's what you
T3
get with
God's
some
on
of
fire.
these slower burn type of heroes with Hua Ling shooting at range. You can
Why would
actually
you rush in there?
release an
That
arrow
doesn't
and
make
still
any
be
sense.
killed. But here's that. Corey
Bobby
taking out
plays
Bobby
is
Place here. It's
weird.
14-8. Judex with
Where
the
do they
ultimate
find these
and
streamers?
picks up the kill. She's not done though.
Like you
No,
gotta
that
play with
bird
some
hurts
common
too.
sense.
So you see Sir Tag kind of hanging out and then you go, whoa, 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 wait a minute, let me back up. That was
Look
maybe
up
a
Bobby
bit more
plays.
damage than I expected. A nice flank swing around the
he?
corner. Looks like Kairos has played a bit of a distraction.
he plays
I'm not
COD
sure
mobile,
Sir
but
Tag
he
even
is
knows what's
not
going on because
utilizing any
all of a
COD
sudden
mobile
Judex
skills
from
of his.
behind and then the team collapses, doing everything that he can to stay up.
Ooh.
Can he get the third? Oh.
Oh, Corey's Gloria is really good.
Right there. Man, they're
His
having a
timing is really
barbecue.
right.
What is on the menu? Oh,
Yeah.
it's Sir Tag. That's right, standing in the flames.
He is not doing
And Sir Tag's
Media
Ruby is also
but
really
it
good.
is close to the end now. Glorious Gladiators pushing 17 kills. They need 3 more. They've got a minute to do it. And I'm betting they could pick it up.
Certainly probable. We're going to see have to see a miracle
know
here
about
from
that ult
Insanity
T3.
Tag and Corey whenever he gets back
What
into
was
the
he
map. Corey
ulting?
doing a bit
He
of
just
long
ulted
range
the
damage,
hallway.
but watch out. Judex hits like a truck if you're not careful, especially if you can close distance.
Judex's
get
problem
that
is
stun grenade
her
out. Corey's
ability
gonna
that
think
can
better
blind
of that fight. They know they have to
the
play together.
opponents.
They need to play in each other's pockets
Ooh.
and hold
Ooh,
hands. If he swipes
ooh.
the grab a couple eliminations.
Nice
Will they
shot.
lose one in the process? Bobby, great shot. Can he find the final elimination to secure the victory? And as T3 God comes around the corner and they pitch, they're not messing around. I think Bobby just flexed for the camera as well. All 3 of the players on the side of T3 God's team putting in the work. Very well done. Glorious Gladiators looking like the strongest team. We're going to see if Winsanity Squad can answer in kind in payload race.
Well, this is going to secure the top spot for Gloria's Gladiators going into bracket play if they can take the next map on Payload Race. That remains to be seen. However, I want to go back to the team comp here. High risk, high reward ultimately proves to be very rewarding for them as they take 3 very strong high-range heroes. We're talking Hualing and Osis, which we've seen quite a bit throughout the tournament. Judex, though, one of the first times we've seen her, would love to bring up Judex and check her out because she absolutely hits like a truck, like you're saying. She actually could be the counter to a Hualing or an Osis on the other side because she's got a little movement, some shucking and jiving that she can do to dodge those shots, but can still put out some furious firepower in return. And she also has an active ability, the FF-105 Stunner, which is basically a flashbang. It's a throwable grenade that blinds opponents. And
that flash is really annoying if you have like long-range heroes in the opponent's team. You just kind of disable the damage ability for the long-range heroes.
Every single reload heals her to an extent, which is really, really useful when you're just trying to stay in the fight. You fire a little bit, you reload a little bit, and you're tip-top shape for the next encounter.
No, exactly. I think it's only about a 5% boost, but oftentimes in these fights, you get down to about 2 or 3% of your health. So anything goes a long way, especially when you're putting out so many bullets downrange with that repeater like T3 God was able to do. Well, the aggressive comp certainly paid off in TDM. The question is, will it pay off?
I'd say Judex's passive, I think her passive is more like a lifesaver.
Yeah. I think most passive ability of characters are for that function.
Yeah, lifesaver.
Looking at these replays, we're going to see a number of different impressive plays from
and it's pretty useful in free-for-all, especially for Judex, because Judex is a really good hero for free-for-all. She's not always good in other maps, but in free-for-all, she's just so good. And Scotty as well. They're very similar heroes. But then with the passive, it just saves you a little bit in free-for-all, especially when there's the bigger maps like the Cuenca del Piñata map, where it's just so big. You will have a little bit more time to heal yourself up and not get killed all the time.
A meta or team comp that is obvious just yet. But as
I really like the new Mark skin.
Right now, we've got some doozies coming in. This is going to be a good matchup as we head into game number 2 of our matchup. And again, if Glorious Gladiators take this one, they are going to clinch that top seed.
Match point. They would love to not drop a
Crush-on
single
sad.
Map this entire round robin section
Diggy.
of the
We actually just buffed
as we start looking at some of these
Diggy.
comps and well in a very aggressive start. We
Her
see
ultimate
some
ability,
similarities
her
from the
first
last time
ultimate.
this team played
The damage of her first ultimate just got
Kazimov for
buffed.
T3 God. We can see Mark for Body Blaze, but it's a Christina that Kairos Time is playing this time around, trying to throw that AoE damage and kind of zoning ability that she
Kazama
has
again in this
and
map.
her mines that she puts out.
Sama up in the air now. That's pretty difficult. He's able to pick up 2. He picks up a 3rd, and that is a team wipe, and the advantage now going to Glorious Gladiators. You can see the disparity now on the percentage leaderboard. We've got both payloads going in opposite directions right now, which is great for Glorious Gladiators, but not
T3
so
got
much
down, Kazama's
for
down.
Rangers.
I will say, too, when we start staring at kind of like what the competition looks like, what the strategy looks like, I think the T3 God advantage is what I'm going to call it at this point. It's the IGLing from T3 God that is really in their favor. Sure, they've got the gunny, sure, they've got great shots and good team chemistry, but it's the strategy.
Yeah, I feel like Hyro's team has better team comps in general in every single one of their match.
While the third player on their team is pushing their payload forward. It's like kind of a double-edged
Their team
sword.
comp
You're
is
able to swing it
just
both ways and not only hurt your opponent,
smart.
but also help yourself.
Exactly.
Right now, they're nearly double. Now, make it double percentage of their opponents.
I mean, Kairos' pick of Christina is really smart.
For T3 God, Kairos Time,
And they keep changing their strategy.
Yeah, they keep changing their team comps.
I guess I need to put...
Mark just popped his super ability. You can tell when he uses it, when the targets appear on his opponents, and what it does is basically amplify the damage.
Who's that bazooka guy?
Hey, watching the stream, bro.
We have a huge gap widening.
Hey, Hubby!
To 30 And it looks like that is going to be curtains for
He's lagging.
Why do you
Ruby's
sound like your
Rangers
internet
as
sucks, bro?
Glorious Gladiators getting their payload across the finish line first.
Yo, Hubby, who's that bazooka guy?
That's Kazama.
That nigga's
powered in payload.
Yeah, that guy's cracked.
Our first matchup,
Yeah, it's because he does AoE, right? And then he can fly, so he does really good at crowd control, and he's really good at zoning people out. Like, you can hide behind it, but his AoE rockets still hit you. Like,
that they played against the Kazuma, right? The Kazuma up in the air, it's not that difficult once you figure it out and you can team shoot him. But when he's flying up in the air, if you're not used to aiming up into the sky,
Okay, I'm gonna put all the codes in the T3 Arena chat for all the free gifts. It's not a lot,
quickly take the battlefield,
but it's something.
Right?
Shell would
Yeah.
actually be a better pick
in
in the situation just now, I think, instead of like the Iris Jabali comp, because the Iris Jabali comp is it's just very difficult for them to deal any damage.
Yes.
But if you are countering Kazama, you will need to really deal damage on the Kazama and just keep killing that Kazama.
Let's take a look at our leaderboard
and stop him from annoying the whole team.
And now it comes down
But
to who is going
Shell
to be the
needs a lot of practice before using it.
Shell is a really difficult hero to use as well.
Ruby's Rangers. So then next matchup, we would have to go to the tiebreaker, which is going to be super, super interesting.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what
Yeah,
happens.
And nobody
Like,
using
they're really
Rely.
good at the game.
It's a really good character.
Sindri.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And easy.
Indeed. Well, Sindri is also a good counter for Kazama.
Yeah.
I've got a code for you I'm about to share, but before that, all you gotta do, exclamation point prediction in all of our live chats are modded.
But it really depends on the whole team comp, because
you can go to their posts under
even if
T3
Sindri's
Arena
got the
game,
bot
and you can see
out
they got a
there,
prediction
Kazama
live
can
on
also
who you
easily
think
just
is going
crash
to
the
win
bot.
this matchup
Yes.
And who you think is going to clinch that second seed. This is a crucial matchup specifically for Hunter's Heroes, okay? So if you want them to win, maybe vote for them. All you gotta do is comment their
Yeah,
name.
Scotty and
or
Judex
if you
are
want
also
their
good.
opponents to win, comment that name, and
If
you'll have a chance to win some rewards.
you're
Speaking
trying
of
to
rewards,
kill
guess what? We've got
Where are the
another
Kazama,
codes?
just
Oh
focus
my
on
God.
Kazama. Then
Go to the
Scotty and
menu, go
Judex
down to your
might be good, but
options
Judex,
within your account,
I
hit
would
the
think
redeem
that
code
Scotty
button, type
is
in
a better
tap, tap,
counter
one. Very
against
simple, tap,
Kazama
tap,
than
one. And
Judex
again, all of our rewards
because
are
of the
increasing. I
ultimate.
think we might have just
Yeah.
hit a new tier of
Judak's
what we can
ultimate
take home.
is on the
Tap, tap,
ground,
one. Tap, tap, one,
and
baby.
you know
Last
Kazama
matchup,
would
so
just
Lance, I think this will
jump
determine our
up
seeding.
and
So we're almost done with the round robin already. We're moving quickly.
escape from
Make
her
sure
ultimate.
you get your
Yeah.
rewards.
Scotty's ultimate is
Absolutely.
really
Making
good counter
time
for
here. We get the
Kazama.
round robin
on the
just
screen
about
right
to
now.
wrap
And her
up. That will determine
ability
the
with the
seed.
spider wrap as
Again,
well.
the only seed that is established at this point is
But
number
with a
one.
good
That's gonna be
Kazama, it's really
Glorious
difficult
Gladiators.
because there
T3
are
God leading the right way
there
there.
are
They've got
objects that
undefeated through the round robin, 3-0.
make you
As far as
difficult
their
to hit
record goes,
Kazama
Yes.
now we have
in the payload
opportunity
race map.
to look at Ruby's Rangers taking on
And
Hunter's
those
Heroes
objects
again.
are, you know,
Everything
you
on
have
the
to work
line
around
with
those
seeding
objects
because
to
whoever
really
ends up in last
Yeah,
seed
we already
gets
used it
the
earlier.
Hualing is also a good
It's on my list.
counter
Pretty sure we
if
checked.
if you're going
Yeah,
up
tap 1 and 2
to
were
the
used.
second
I don't know
floor,
why they reposted it.
and when both payloads are moved towards the middle of the map, then Hualing is a very good counter for Kazama.
Yeah.
Depending on the way this is swung. So we're
But
gonna need to
T3
see
God
some
keeps
variability. We would
changing.
love to
You
see
can't
Yeah.
guess
for the round
what's
three.
Yeah.
the next heroes.
Yeah,
Take a
and
map off
yeah,
of each other.
that's
I
right.
guess, Lance, it's time.
I will
this is the
try
last one. The chat's getting
again.
predictions done.
Tap, tap,
We've gotta pick
one
ourselves. We've
to
seen 'em.
check
Are you gonna stick to the alphabet, or are you gonna
the
maybe
gifts.
stick to some of the skill you've seen?
Hunter's Heroes, it's obvious, man. Age comes
Oh my
before
god,
honor.
I
mean,
get
come on.
15
We gotta-
coins.
Oh, that's
this
more.
time. Yes,
So
3
it's more
times.
and more and more.
It's actually finally going on.
It's more and more.
Go put in your predictions now in the Tap Tap app under the T3 Arena game, and you can also just type in exclamation point.
Are the codes redeemable by everyone, or is it first come first serve? They are redeemable by everyone as long as they're
It's gotta be
still.
under events.
And
right?
we're in the live.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
still
yeah.
in the live stream.
Yeah, so they're going to be expiring after the live stream
As we
is over.
load into our first map of the final matchup.
Oh,
Absolutely
they're
would say yes,
changing
but I
their
could
team
tell
comp
from the preview,
this
we're not gonna
time.
see it. We've got a few more that we're going to run it back on. That is totally fine. What I was hoping to see, though, was a Shell. Really think she's a really strong character. And having seen her
Interesting.
pick
Iris.
Oh, peeps.
And
though, so I
Victor.
don't blame some of these guys
So-
who are newer to the game
so I-
not picking her up. We also
I
haven't
think-
seen Labula into the game either, or Chemist.
No, I'm trying to see
Looking
Hunter,
on the battlefield, but
Gloria,
who cares? We've
So probably what Chris Victor is gonna do is to sneak out.
Oh, I think we've got some news. So I'm hearing Rodeo is back in.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm so happy.
He's on a different device right now, but it seems he got it working.
Can we get a rematch?
Oh, that sniper does not hit those, nigga.
No,
Sure
they
about
suck,
that.
dude. They're really
I'm working
bad.
on that right now.
They must have
yeah,
just got a
guys,
bunch
I've
of content
been paying
creators
close
to, like-
attention to you
Yeah,
guys on
basically
YouTube and
just to,
Discord. We're working
The
closely
Showman
with
match?
Rodeo
Yeah,
and
just to put the
everyone
game
else
on the map.
to fix
Yeah.
all our technical
Because I mean,
issues.
yeah, they got a
We'll
Clash
keep you
Royale
guys
player
updated.
playing,
But yeah,
a fucking
we've got him
PUBG
all right.
player playing.
Ooh. Surtax Ruby is really.
This will be a full team wipe the other direction to bring it back 4-3. Lance, we might finally have
Oh,
a nail biter of a matchup.
I feel bad for old the sword.
He's really bad with that hunter. Holy shit.
Triangle. That was pretty much trouble for him. One tip I have for those of you guys trying to play Ruby at home, deploy that shield early. Right now, get it in front of you so the team can advance behind it. Get off those early shots because the second those pane of glass are broken, you can redeploy and you'll have another shield to activate the cooldown early on. Right now, it's being deployed super late.
One of the shots were missed.
Not getting the full advantage here.
One of the shots were
That's something that
missed.
you learn a little bit longer as you get a bit more experience with the game. But Ruby, incredibly strong hero. And Orange Juice here, getting some shots with Hualing.
Yeah, I was gonna say if
I think
we're
Ruby's a
Yo.
really smart pick.
and kind of start locking in and connecting some of these shots, and of course if we can keep the heels up.
She's really good for like, especially that corridor.
The bitch floated in the air.
Barrier actually covers everything.
But Victor is a problem. Like Victor is a huge problem.
Yeah, he can just like rush through the barrier.
Opportunity. Now you're leaving your team a little bit out to dry if you don't push it. And you can
But,
see he's gonna actually
yeah,
swing
what they
back
can
and
do
probably
is
have some great comms
get
right now.
Mar-
I'd love
yeah,
to see
Victor's
actually
down.
connection. If there's a chance we could do a listen in for a moment, maybe with Winsanity, Surtag, and Corey to see what they're talking about.
That's
Only
a really
1 point
close match.
behind.
Definitely loving the play so far and having that Ruby. is where you
They're
wanna be
camping.
If you're trying to get out of spawn, she's got a beautiful shield to hide behind. So definitely not the greatest spot to try to spawn push somebody is when they've got a Ruby on their side.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
There we got our listening.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
I
some
don't
of
even
these
know
comms.
how to fucking.
Ooh. Victor's ultimate was missed.
It's the thought that
See,
counts.
so they're really smart to, really focus on Iris
Yeah.
to make sure that she doesn't keep healing the Victor.
I love it. All right, we can bring it back.
I
to
think
the
the
casters.
Iris can
I
be
actually
really
like
annoying
that
when
we
she's
heard
on
that
the
one point at the end there in
opposing
chat.
team.
You
Because
guys
like
didn't
if you
get a
fail
chance
to
hear
take
that.
her
I
out, it's like
ignored the
the whole
tank
team is
and I sniped
never going
OJ
down.
in the back.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to do. The tank's job
Especially
is
in
to
some
draw
maps.
fire so that their
Like
team
the
can hide
payload race
behind
map.
them, they can take the brunt of the damage, and then the DPS players
You
can
will
come in
definitely have to
behind and
just
grab
take down the
elimination.
Iris
If you
right
just
away.
ignore the
Hey,
tank,
get
She
on
kind of
the
just
map.
drags things down so much. And if you're someone like payload, like just being alive, you're just pushing it.
Oh, Insanity team winning this 100%.
Man, that was a long fight there, prolonged in spawn, and again, not where you want to be. And only 50 seconds to go in this one. 11-9, super tight race. Are we going to get the nail biter finish we were hoping for? It appears we might.
Ooh. Oh, Victor's down. Iris needs to fall back. Oh, shit.
13-10 up by 3 with only 30 seconds left with Sanity Surtag up. We've lost Corey.
Come on, get
They're
those
gonna
snipes
stay
in.
patient.
Get
They're
those
gonna
snipes
stay
in.
together. They have the lead. They don't need to push the
Down
equation
below.
here. You can see this is Chris is going to have to play the aggressor role and to get involved. They have to find this full team wipe and tie up the battle. And I'm not sure they're gonna have enough time to do it. They've got a full sit in now. You can see Chris taking the playing Victor is gonna charge in with the swords right behind wall. Has to connect on a couple of these eliminations. They lose.
I don't like that guy. Like, why? Why do you need to make all those sounds?
15-11 finish. Sanity and company go up map 1.
Nice.
1-0.
That was a really good match.
Why are they showing the Yuki Mart guy? Glorious play better.
Picking up the victory there. Love the Mark choice for
Say what?
Mark, one of the easier heroes.
I said Gloria's like the better version of Mark.
Get some shots down range.
I don't know about that. Mark is pretty good.
One of the things towards the end.
I like Mark better than I like Gloria.
No, Gloria's better than Mark.
I don't think
so.
so.
Snare bomb and keep all of his team in that single spot so his teammates could have obliterated them. But taking a peek here at Mark, no shield to speak of. He's got 5,600 HP, and with that prototype AR, gets shots down.
Mark's like B tier.
Optic disrupt.
Yeah, I
actually limit
Gloria's S tier.
Want a 1v1, bro?
Is the proximity sensor.
1v1 with what?
Scan Mark opponents.
You got Gloria,
with
I got Mark. I bet you I win.
Yeah, with your maxed out character.
Really gear it up pretty strong, and that's
even without a maxed out character.
This is a huge, huge opportunity here for Win San Diego.
I don't have any maxed out
And
characters.
Mark, I still haven't got his second ultimate, but I just can't wait to try out his second ultimate. I tried it out in the internal
I
version.
got that tomorrow. I got that yesterday, but I never tried.
Yeah, it looks really dope.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. But for
Nobody
now,
used
it's 1-0
the
in
character's
favor of
second
Ruby's
ultimate
Rangers, and there's an
in this
opportunity here,
match,
Hunter's
except
Heroes to take
Jabali's.
this victory.
Yeah,
Not
except
only is it
Jabali.
a massive
So
potential
far.
victory for Hunter's Heroes, but it would also force a three-way tie if Hunter's Heroes were to come out on top. Now they will have to win the next two maps. We've got Payload Race that we've seen multiple times, and that all too elusive Crystal Assault, that third round that Lance and I are praying we'll see. But don't worry, we will see it at the very beginning of bracket play. All right, Lance. So we've talked about predictions. You went with
Next
the
code,
alphabet.
6 coins
What
or
are you
nothing.
feeling now? I mean, you're gonna,
maybe
kind
I
of
can-
stick to
I
your
can
guns here with Hunter's Heroes.
I'm digging in. Heels are going into the earth right now. Hunter's Heroes has got to come through. We've got to see him get us to match 3. I want to see Crystal Assault. That is what I
Okay,
have
so
to see.
so
And
Lazy
I'm
has got the
really
cutest thing
excited
to show you guys. I'm actually
have
not
that
sure
come through.
if we're
A
going
little bit of
if we're gonna be getting these out or what,
We'll
but
work through it and have this back online here any moment. But really excited
What is he
here
showing us?
to see. It looks like Crystal Assault if Hunter's Heroes can pull this off.
Is that like a magnet?
We'll see what
I don't
happens
think
coming
he
up
can
here
do
in
that.
just a moment, but it's going to take a big effort from OJ, the Swords, and
I'm gonna be honest.
is
This seems
Chris.
like the most unprepared
Speaking
stream
of
I've
some of
ever
our
seen
favorite heroes,
professionally.
I haven't really had a chance to talk about my favorite heroes, Liz. So I was
Well, I mean, it's a
it's
small platform, really, but they just have really big
kind of a unique hero. We haven't seen
streamers, I guess, casting it.
And so I'd love to pull up that player card if we can for Lobula and kind of talk about the unique.
Not only that, if you put any of those codes in, like they're not good codes
that
either.
kind of falls within that same category. Although
I think you got 5 coins out of one of them. Actually, a couple of them, 10 coins. And it's like, what are you gonna do with that amount of coins? Like, if you're trying to, like, that doesn't even come close. Doesn't even put a dent in some of the stuff that you need to actually do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's better than nothing, I guess.
An
But
easy hero to play, but also a higher skill cap.
I guess
because if you're
since
good
they
at
have like
damage,
a
if you're good at geometry,
huge amount of players
you can
inputting that
underrange
code, they don't want to
you
like
can really kind of triangulate
give out
the
just a
difficult
bunch of coins, I
to
guess.
actually
But at the same time, I think they
can't
should.
transfer the coins between accounts, though.
They shoot you.
Yeah, I think they should be able to like 100, 200.
There's a wall or a corner in the way,
Yeah, I
that's
felt
not
like you're
always
gonna
an
get
option,
hundreds
so you
of
have the
coins, not
ability
like
to play
fucking
a
5.
really interesting game.
You can't do anything with 5 coins.
And again, we'll look to see if
That
she
gets
is
you
out on
past like the
battlefield.
first
Looks like
level.
we've got a
I think
Hunter,
Yeah.
a Mark,
level
and
1 to
a
level 2 is
Ruby
5 points.
taking on a Huawei, an Iris, and a Victor. Interesting matchup to say the least.
Couldn't agree more. I will say Ruby is a very strong pick in payload race. If I've seen anything from some of our
Come on,
competitors,
Winsanity
going
and
shield
Sir
down
Tag, let's
range,
go.
allowing you to advance
guys on
I voted
Discord.
for you guys.
as many times as
Give me my free
possible that
prize.
you can throw your shields down range, the better, because there is the passive abilities that all of our players have unlocked with their the accounts that we're using for this event. You actually get some damage mitigation, even if you get shot when you're near your shield. So keep that in mind. Put the shields out as many times as possible, even if you can't cover all of the shots. You at least help yourself
That's
out
exact.
a little
Oh,
bit
that's
for
not the
maybe a flanker
same
or two.
comp.
I couldn't agree more.
So Corey
I'm really
changed
excited,
to
though,
Hunter this
to
time
watch this
instead
match
of the
progress, as
Osas in
it's
the
super
previous
tight
match.
right now, 48 to 43. And again, when Sanity and Sir Tag and Corey trying to put the nail in the coffin right now, and they are in the lead. It's very, very close. Only about 6.5% separating these teams. Who is going to stop the other team's payload is the question right now. And it looks like Winsanity and crew have done just that.
That Alada statue is amazing. Yeah, we thought
Get it
about
in there,
maybe going
Surtag.
forward with it. We'll keep you guys updated. We're not sure.
Get that shit to the end.
Wasn't able to get there in time though. You've taken down the off take.
There you go.
See Winsanity going to town. Corey from behind, a great flank. This could be the team wipe they need to really take the lead.
Damn, 1 HP guys now.
They're not moving theirs though. They're not moving theirs. They need to move theirs forward.
Going on from the red team.
That Hunter. So Corey's Hunter was in a really good position.
They won it.
On the
Where they
second
did.
floor.
And then gets taken out.
They have completely.
They need to
Once
move
they-
forward. They need to do both at the same time.
He just camped the fuck out of him.
Because once it goes double
Hunter.
speed, they'll catch
So
right
what
up.
Hunter
Like, it'll be
did
quick.
with Victor is with
I mean, it's
the
there.
ability
They won.
Hunter has, he
What do you
can
mean?
just
They got
keep
2 minutes
pushing
left.
back Victor.
Winsanity won. What do you
Yeah.
mean? He's at 98%.
Yeah,
99.
get close to the Hunter, so the Hunter can just keep his position
I am
on the
live.
second floor.
No, they're at 82, 83.
I think Huawei should go to the second
Oh, your
floor.
stream's delayed.
But Huawei. Oh, you mean over there?
Yeah.
It would be a better, but you know, it's the difficult thing is that
Are you watching it from your stream or are you watching it from
they
your
were
computer?
falling
I'm watching it from the computer.
behind a little bit.
Yeah,
Huh,
I think half
then
the
I don't know.
I think it's
Yeah,
gone.
It's
he's at
just really
98,
difficult for
99,
Huawei
100.
to
Alright, so he just won. Am I watching the
Yeah.
right
push
stream?
through with her.
I'm watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, I am
If
too.
Victor was
Are you
not
watching it on
from-
T3
like
Arena?
if Victor the
No,
Victor
I'm watching it
magic
on Tap Tap.
wasn't there.
Tap Tap.
Take the L for this round. Unfortunately, Hunter's Heroes not
Well, it's
able
a little
to
late now 'cause I
persevere
don't wanna
and
miss
pick
any
up that
codes.
map victory. Really, all I
Yeah.
wanted to
It's
see
only
was
like
Energy
like
Canyon
what,
and
15, 20
Crystal
seconds.
Assault.
So
Unfortunately,
If
not
that.
meant to be, not in the cards today, not in Ruby's cards.
I'll just go to
say
your
the
stream.
least. And that is that. And wraps up our
T3
first
Arena.
round of play. The round robin stage is completed, and the standings picture is a little bit more clear. After that one, I was afraid we might have that 3-1.
Yeah, their stream's a little delayed.
No, I know it was going to be a close one, but Ruby's Rangers win Sanity specifically.
I did a super chat,
but I just think the mark
and nobody responded on YouTube at all.
Was going to try to play a bit more.
I'm a little pissed
No
at
way.
that.
A bunch of heroes, which
No way. How much did you donate to him?
Oh, just $2. I donated the minimum so
Wow.
we can get a chat in.
Easiest thing to do. Now, if we take a look at our leaderboard, I want to be very clear with how this lines up because, well, guess what? There's no tiebreakers.
I'm gonna put there ICU the gang. Well, it doesn't get pinned or anything. Maybe, I don't know.
On top will be rank number 1, 3-0 throughout the day. Haven't even dropped a map, might I add. And then Ruby's Rangers, they did.
You said super chat $49.99.
Aletta's Avengers, they brought it back at the very end, went 1-2, winning a game against Hunter's Heroes, and then of course Hunter's Heroes.
Imagine getting a
0
donation and not
3
responding to
in
it.
The
Like,
round
I don't
robin.
understand that.
Now,
That
Lance,
just blows
this
my
is gonna
mind.
mean a lot, of course, for our bracket. This is
I was the
determining
only
who
person
you're
this
going to
entire
play
stream to do a
in
super
the
chat. Nobody else
semifinals, and this
donated
will
money.
determine who, of course, once you win that semifinals, you go to the
I don't,
finals.
dude.
In
Is
the
there like a
finals,
moderator in
most
here?
of our money is to be
There was.
found.
Wasn't
And so
there
when I start
earlier?
Talking about strategy, just because Hunter's Heroes went 0-3 doesn't mean they can't win this whole tournament.
It's like they're not even watching.
Yeah, I
the
think
news. Why
I
even
think
have
that
YouTube
their
on?
team just
Fucking
needs a
frustrating. You gotta have
little
somebody monitoring this shit.
different team combo.
Yes.
Gonna
Like,
take
they
some
have a-
time, talk
they
as a
need a
team,
different
work
team
on some
comp.
team comps. Any words of wisdom, words of advice for some of the teams at home that maybe didn't put up the best numbers they possibly could?
Absolutely. Looking at Gloria's Gladiators, clearly they have it together. They've got one of the community's best in T3, God, coming out, winning a tournament to be here in the first place.
Somebody's just spamming the Brazilian
In
flag.
order to do so, you're going to need some heroes that can put out some damage. So I would be looking for some distraction, some damage. I would look for heroes like Sindri, like Labula, who we haven't seen at all today. I would definitely be looking at bringing a Diggy out. I want to see some that are
I
not
want
as
to
easily
too.
tracked
I actually
by
feel
the
like we
Casimir
never
and
see
Huawei that
Labula
he's
at all
opted
in
for so far.
competitive comp.
And then if you're looking
Yeah.
for damage, definitely
And
opt
Diggy.
for a Scotty
Sindri
or a
and Camus.
Judex. I would definitely like to see, you know,
Diga, I
that,
think we
you
might
know, Cosmo
might
get
start
knocked
seeing
out of
more
the
of
sky
it
at some
after
point.
the last
We're gonna have to
update.
make it a joint effort here, and it looks like in the next bracket phase we'll have some.
Who's this guy on the right?
I think
by
he
the
could
way?
be
I've
a
never seen
risky
this guy before.
choice for tournaments.
I don't know.
because
Before
if you have really strong
I mean, Power Bang has
opponents
such a
and
unique
just
face.
keep
You know exactly who he is when you see him.
Yeah.
Diggy away from, for
Not to
example, in the
mention he has a
payload
fan
race,
base.
I always
That code's
use,
already
well,
fucking
I
used,
usually
bitches.
use Diggy in the
Stop
payload
posting
race
on
map.
code.
But if you have really good
Not to
opponents that
mention,
just keep you away
you know, he's known for Clash
from
of Clans.
sneaking
And
around
that
to
was
Yeah, that was
and
his
do
thing.
melee
That was his
damage
thing.
to the opponent's team, then you know Diggy is a really risky choice. It really depends on your teammates.
I don't see him in the
it
description.
depends on the opponent's ability to.
I don't even see
tap
Power
you.
Bang in the description.
Yeah, because that other guy doesn't even matter.
Different game titles you can go check out on their app, and they've got some really cool things.
And
coming.
even
I mean,
a
he
good
has to
song
be
can
big
good,
because
counter
maybe
to Diggy.
maybe the PC scene. I don't know.
Do you know what that is? July 23rd, it's coming, and there are some key things that we've got to talk about.
Let's see who's the other caster. Nobody's gonna respond because everybody's just worrying about fucking codes.
This dude in the chat, I stayed up to 3 a.m. for 60 coins.
7 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube, Twitch, and on the
I just fucking typed that all
So
wrong.
go check
Who's
out
the
TapTap right
other
now. Go
caster?
download TapTap right now. All you gotta do is
Autocorrect
go to
the
description
fastest.
down below in the pinned messages for all of those that are watching this live. We thank you.
Oh,
for
by
being
the way,
here
you
live.
guys,
We're
did
gonna
you know
end
that
a
you can,
very short
if you
break,
bind
guys.
your
We're gonna grab
account
some water.
with
We're gonna
TapTap, you
breathe
can
for
get
a
the
moment.
tap
We're gonna let the teams do some conversating
player
about
card.
maybe some new comps that maybe Lance will go give them some
He's
pointers.
the broadcast.
It's
What?
pretty good.
Some really cool videos we have in store for
Really
you.
good.
Pretty
We'll
good.
be right back in just a moment.
It's actually better than a lucky draw player cards. I don't want to say that, but it's actually better than the new Egyptian player card.
I love the Egyptian one.
I think
Somebody
the
in the chat that
Egyptian
makes sense.
skin
They
for
get
the
better
ruler is
rewards for
good,
maintenance, which
but the
doesn't
player card
consume
is.
Snake.
Yeah, the snake one, the one with the snake. It's a break, right?
I said Diggy finna make me act up on God.
Do you guys want some water?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good, thank you.
Water, coffee.
I'm good with some coffee.
That stupid shark thing. That's so dumb.
You guys can have a chat. Tell us about your favorite hero so far. I know. I'll gonna grab some water and come back in a minute.
She has to avoid taking
Can I have
damage while looking for opportunities to attack.
Hey guys, Gordo here. So I'm gonna go over the comments on both YouTube and Discord right now. So people on YouTube, if you're not on our official Discord, get on it right now, and I'll be going over both. So regarding player tournaments, yeah, that's something we're definitely going to be doing. So the plan was to release our official guidelines after our first tournament, the Tata tournament. So we are going to be posting the guidelines everywhere very soon. Let me reply right here on
Teammates are in
Discord.
danger. Diggy could save them by knocking back opponents with her ultimate. With her passive ability, Particle Mending, Diggy possesses high survivability. After transforming, her health will gradually restore.
They'll let me say this.
This
I
can
don't
I wonder if they'll let me say
change the
that.
game.
Look what I put.
As a
You
diver,
see her look
she
down
has
at the
to
fucking
rely on
thing?
Yeah.
She grabs that.
herself.
That's the third
Hey.
time. That's when they're looking down is when I post it,
During an attack,
and then they look
she
away.
can use illusory touch.
Did you see what I put?
And with
Oh, yeah,
Particle
I
Mending,
did.
she
Sorry,
can
I'm a little
launch
more
her
frustrated at
next
the fact
attack
that I donated, but they're
as
not.
soon as she's back,
responding.
stronger than ever.
They didn't delete my message. No, I said fuck yo super chat.
Oh.
I'm so looking forward to.
Somebody just
we are gonna have-
put all the codes so far.
I'm so looking forward to
Yeah, I
whether
have
we're
that
gonna
too.
have a rematch for Rodeo, because it seems like Rodeo's device. He's got another device working again.
Yeah, I think he was on an iPad at first. He was also having some issues with his emulator. Now we actually got him on another iPhone.
Take note, the shotgun has damage fall off.
We're doing our best to
emulator-
get him a
Emulator is banned in this match, and all of the
Dude,
some of them
Stinky's
are
so
on Android, some
overpowered.
of them are
That
iOS, and
shouldn't even be a
emulators are
champion.
banned
Oh.
in this match.
Have you seen her play?
So
Yeah, the
tournament-
fucking shark
tournament
shit.
Yeah, she could
organizers
literally stay
of
as a
T3
shark the entire
Arena,
time.
it's
And literally
actually
just pop
something
up to
that
kill you and then go back
a
to the
lot
shark.
of players talk about whether to use emulators or not in tournaments. And in a previous, so Rodeo actually hosted the first ever tournament during early access. It was like a very small tournament, but it was really fun to watch. And I remember T3 God was